can take it to the house, that has that elite speed as well. But also, man, when you talk about does not care about his body in the middle of the field, he's catching the tough passes. And yet we did nothing, man, to help Bo Nix in this offense out.
When you know Jalen Waddle, whatever he's producing, he's earning it. Because Tua's out there throwing hospital balls, and that offense with Mike McDaniel is all over the place. Jalen Waddle would have stepped into this building at Broncos Park, powered by Common Spirit, and immediately been the second most productive receiver on the Broncos roster, and it wouldn't have been that distant of a second behind Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, you could argue that he's number one.
And from a talent perspective, sure. Yeah, he's 26 years old.
Yeah.
He's a good route runner. He's a physical kind of receiver. That's why he's dealt with some banged up injuries throughout his recent years.
But also it's the run after catch, Richie. Yeah. That's what we're still missing. Now, Cortland Sutton's doing a better job of catching the ball, breaking some tackles, getting an extra couple yards. But the run after catch where you can catch a 15-yard route, break a tackle, and take it to the house, that's what we're still missing to open up this offense. That's what Sean Payton has been wanting, is to open up this offense, and yet you don't do it during the time you can do it. It's the trade deadline. Come on, man.
Yeah, listen, it's something that, as I was telling Cecil just a couple of minutes ago, it's just something that we're unfamiliar with here with the Broncos in recent years, is them being at the top of the AFC. They're tied for the best record, number 2, number 3 seed in the AFC right now, and they're buyers with legitimate opportunity to add around a quarterback that they believe is the future of their franchise, and they choose not to do it. So the question then is, Phil, did Sean Payton and George Payton by extension, because they're kind of like frickin' frack, they work together.
Oh, yeah.
Have they now put more pressure on themselves to make, at a minimum, a deeper playoff run than they went last year? We're not talking about making the wild card and getting the doors kicked in, in the first round like they did against the Buffalo Bills.
You had Sean calling his shot that he felt like this is a Super Bowl
seventh
team,
one he's ever coached,
a contending team.
Yep.
So there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it now. You have to not only get back to the playoffs and have a really good seeding, but also you're going to win your first playoff game, your second playoff game, and have an opportunity to try to get to that third one in the Super Bowl. Like, this is what it comes down to. If you didn't make a trade, which I believe that the Denver Broncos tried to make a trade. They're probably aggressive, but they weren't willing to give up maybe a second-round draft pick or a player that's on the team
George Payton loves his picks.
Yes.
And he has been. Sean Payton loves to spend.
Yep.
George Payton's a saver. That's why they're kind of a functioning married couple, right? You got a spender and a saver. George Payton would love to accumulate and stockpile, especially middle-round draft picks, because he thinks he can maneuver. Plus, it gives him ammo to move up and down in the draft like Sean likes to do.
But now, though, like, Rich, now you see what the offense has been looking like.
Yep.
It's been stagnated. We needed another weapon, and yet we don't have one here. There is a lot of pressure put on George, not necessarily George now. This is the Sean Payton show. There's a lot of pressure on Sean to get Bo Nix back on track, get his play calling. When you talk about Sean Payton, get his play calling back on track when it comes to particularly the run game. And now it's time for people like Troy Franklin to start coming up big and opening up as the receiver too. Marvin Mims when he gets back, and of course Pat Bryant. There better be more play calls towards Pat Bryant since you didn't go out there and get another weapon for Bo Nix.
Recapping some of the moves around the NFL ahead of past now, the NFL's trade deadline, which ended 6 minutes and 46 seconds from this very moment if you're listening live. The Raiders, who the Broncos will face in 48 hours essentially, traded wide receiver Jacoby Myers to the Jaguars in exchange for a 4th and 6th round draft pick. That, to me, says a couple of things. One, the Raiders have at least some semblance of an idea at 2-6 about where this season might be going. Okay, and they took an opportunity to offload a guy who had some value.
Well, and also Jacoby Myers has wanted to get out of Vegas.
He's requested it multiple times, and credit to him, he has still shown up and been productive despite vocally requesting out multiple times from the Raiders organization. That also tells me, Phil, the Jaguars are all in on this season, right? They've got Brian Thomas Jr., they bring in Jacoby Myers, but it also tells me that this injury situation that was very ambiguous with Travis Hunter, with him going to injured reserve, that might linger longer than a handful of weeks or so if he's eligible to return.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you're dealing with a knee injury, and we don't know how severe it really is. Now, they may say, hey, you didn't tear anything, but you might have damaged tissue around it. So no telling when someone like Travis Hunter will be back. So, yes, Jacksonville was more aggressive, saying, hey, we're still all in. We have a chance to make some noise. We're not going to let Travis Hunter not being there hinder us. Let's go out there. Let's try to acquire another receiver, and we go from there. When it's like, okay, I understand that. But then you see someone like the Philadelphia Eagles too, Richie, They're just picking up
Jalen
everybody.
Phillips, yep. The Eagles, it feels like, especially with the success that they've had, particularly in the regular season, obviously, they were in the Super Bowl this past year. They feel like with Howie Roseman kind of pulling the strings, they're always in buyer mode, and they're looking to wheel and deal. When they sell, it's very savvy and calculated, and they're acquiring draft picks that they want to and then turn. It's the opposite of the F them picks mentality with the Rams that we saw during their Super Bowl run. But yeah, Phil, they started the season struggling in a way that had a lot of people, similar to how we looked at the Chiefs, of like, is this, if Saquon Barkley's not rushing for 2,000 yards, is this Eagles offense a legit NFC contender? But they've started to, like the Chiefs, really start to pick it up, turn it around, and come together in a more complete sense, even though A.J. Brown's probably going to fire off a couple of pouty tweets here and there. That's what he does. We mentioned the Saints trade Rashid Shaheed to the Seahawks for a 4th and a 5th round pick. And that's a Seahawks team that I didn't feel like was hurting at the wide receiver position. I think they have the best receiver in football in Jackson Smith and Jigba. Cooper Kupp is hurt right now, but coming back.
But what are you doing?
Torrey Horton?
Yes, I shout out Torrey Horton, CSU Ram. But what are they doing? They're adding more weapons for Sam Darnold.
Right.
Because they do believe that they have a chance to win it all. Will they? Probably not. But they're giving their quarterback, they're giving the fan base hope by adding another weapon, which was a great pickup.
The team that the Broncos are tied with atop the AFC and tied with in alongside in terms of the best record in the NFL, the Indianapolis Colts, trade 2 first-round picks to bring in Sauce Gardner. They also threw in A.D. Mitchell, the wide receiver.
He was struggling this year.
They bring in Sauce Gardner to help bolster their secondary, giving up 2 first-round picks in the process, giving the Jets 4 over the next 2 years. Talk about a mentality switch. The Broncos, who are atop the AFC at 7-2, tied for it in terms of record, stand pat at the deadline. They're comfortable apparently with their 53 or their 48, not uncomfortable enough to make a move. The Colts, screw it, man. This is our time.
They're 7-2. They're 7-2. They know they needed help on the outsides when it comes to a cornerback. You're getting a stud and Sauce Gardner, one of the best cornerbacks in the league, to go with a red-hot Colts team. I mean, that's what you do when you're aggressive and you feel like you can win it all. Now, will you? Like I said with the Seahawks, probably not. But you're giving the players in that locker room hope. You're showing the players that you care and that you know that you guys are close. All right, and it could go other ways. With the Denver Broncos, they're showing that they're players in that locker room, that they believe in them. So I guess that's one way of looking at it. But for the fans, for us, I wanted to see a splash. The offense has kind of been in a rut. Like, go in there and shake it up with another talented receiver that can stretch the football field for you.
Well, with no confirmed moves by the Denver Broncos before the conclusion of the NFL's trade deadline, we now know what the roster in each of these position groups is going to look like by and large over the back half of this season. So which question marks do we have looming the largest, and where do we maybe feel like we're going to have to get a little bit more comfortable? That's next.
This Veterans Day, Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan needs your help as we look to give back to those who have served their country. Teaming up with Foundation Cadillac, Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan is giving away 1 year of free oil changes to one of our state's many veterans. To nominate a current or former service member, head to denversports.com/veteran. That's denversports.com/veteran. To all our nation's veterans, we at Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan thank you for your service. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Hey, what's up, guys? Zach here on behalf of my friends at the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, talking to you men out there about maybe a phrase that makes you a little bit uncomfortable, and that's erectile dysfunction. But before you go squirming in your seat or changing the channel, guys, what's more uncomfortable than hearing the phrase ED is actually living with ED, especially considering how treatable it actually is. Guys, ED is a medical condition, and like most other medical conditions, you can do something about it. And I'm talking about success rates with treatments at the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, with success rates well over 90%, all right? They've served the Front Range of Colorado for nearly a decade, so they're not new. They've successfully treated tens of thousands of men for ED. All right, so I hate to break it to you, you're not that special. ED is actually pretty common. So schedule a consult with Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. The initial visit is just $99. That includes a medical consult with a Colorado licensed medical provider, a TEMTSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. It's real simple. If the test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit's free. All right? No downside. Call Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic at 720-440-7900 or visit them online at RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game and the go-to spot for football season with wall-to-wall TVs, hearty eats, ice-cold drinks, and of course, those scenic views. It's a full-on experience whether you're catching college or pro games this season. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Dental phobia? Consider sedation dentistry with Clarkson Dental. Their highly trained team will lead you through an exceptional dental experience from that first fearful call all the way through to aftercare. Call the most experienced sedation dentist and staff. Clarkson Dental, coloradosedation.com.
Looking for a cleaner, healthier workspace in the Denver area? Pike Janitorial, locally owned since 1994, delivers custom commercial cleaning. From day porters services to full nightly janitorial cleaning, using eco-friendly products that are safe for kids and pets without breaking the bank. They'll even beat your current cleaner's price by 10%, guaranteed. Pike services offices, daycares, schools, medical facilities, anywhere you need excellence. Visit denver-janitorial.com for your free quote. Pike Janitorial, clean you can count on.
This is Rob Wilhite of the Wilhite Law Firm. If you've been seriously injured in a truck or car wreck, you want Wilhite. Get your free case review now. We've been voted best personal injury law firm for the last 3 years in a row. Visit WilhiteWins.com and win big with Wilhite.
Heads up, pros. Now's your chance to unlock deeper savings. The Home Depot's new Pro Extra Preferred pricing can help you save thousands on the products your business uses the most. But the current benefit ends November 15th. Don't miss out. Registration for the new program is free and easy. Just bring your tax ID or business or contractor's license to the Pro Desk. Register now to lock in the best wholesale prices before it's too late.
Fall Football Sale is your playbook for a winning home gym. Save up to 50% off on select premium equipment. Visit any of our 7 stores from Denver to Fort Collins and score big before the sale ends.
Stay up to date on the Broncos with our 9 News Broncos insider Mike Kliss. Presented by Fitness Gallery. Hear the latest from every practice and every game every single week during football season. Denver Sports 1043. The Fan. Denver Sports 1043 The Fan presents The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
Off and rolling. On a trade deadline Tuesday, 17 minutes ago, the NFL trade deadline commenced, and the Denver Broncos stood pat. Now, I feel I can already sense that we're probably getting some allegations from the RamosLaw.com text line or our YouTube channel, which if you're watching us on YouTube, shout out, what's up? That you guys are being so doom and gloom. The Broncos are 7-2. They're winning. You know, why are you complaining? And I don't think that's an accurate representation of where you specifically, for sure, were trying to come from. Because I think there's a difference between being down because you're frustrated with what a team is doing and it's not working, and being down or frustrated about what a team didn't do because of what you think and hope that they're capable of in the next 2 months, right?
Oh, for sure. But before we start that, let me say this. Woo! Always got to do that, Richie. Yeah, all I'm getting at is you have a chance to win it all. You're 7-2. When you're watching these football games, we know that the reason why we're winning these football games is because of our defense. Offense at times looks good, but they're not consistent enough. So all I'm saying is we could have added another weapon just like Seattle just got done doing, just like the Ravens did, just like the Eagles are doing. The Colts, every team that feels like they can contend for a Super Bowl, they're loading up. We had the chance to do that to help Bo Nix out. Bo Nix has been struggling, has he not?
Yeah.
So add another receiver that has speed, that when Bo Nix does overthrow a ball, the speed can catch up to the ball and now it looks good. That's all I'm saying. I just want more. I'm a human being. I want more. That's it. I want us to win as many games as possible. I want the offense to start looking good. I want Bo Nix to get right back on track because he's our franchise quarterback. That's what I'm looking for and thinking of when it came to this trade and not acquiring another piece for Bo Nix in the offense.
Well, and as we suspected, it does seem like the Broncos, as well as other teams, were kicking the tires on some potential moves to be made. We have it reported from Jordan Schultz, catch him outside of a Starbucks, I dare you, that the Broncos and a few other teams reached out to and monitored the Dolphins about wide receiver Jalen Waddle, but no deal got done. Miami's asking price was simply too high. And Phil, that's exactly what we were talking about last segment. It's what James Palmer said yesterday. He'll join us at 4 o'clock later this afternoon. The Broncos have shown in the George Payton tenure that they are not going to, outside of, I guess, the Russell Wilson trade where you kind of threw caution to the wind and you thought you were going to, push your chips into the center of the table.
Yeah.
They have shown,
maybe he learned his lesson
by and large, that they're not going to overspend and overpay at with draft compensation at the trade deadline. They may extend some dollars and cents in free agency that kind of get inflated, but that's the nature of the beast.
Richie, what do you think Miami wanted for Jalen Waddle? That's the big name that everybody wanted.
It's probably a second and something. Maybe it's a second and a fourth. Maybe it's a second and a third. Maybe
you
it's
have to ask yourself
third and a fifth.
Like you're holding on to that second-round draft pick because you're hoping that you can get somebody just like Jalen Waddle, who was drafted in the first round. If they're asking for a second-round draft pick and you're not going to have to pay Jalen Waddle because he's already been paid, why not do it? He's an established receiver in this league. You know what you're getting out of him. You don't know what you're getting out of your first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh round draft pick. Hell, even the undrafted players. But you do know what you have in Jalen Waddle.
Yep.
You do know what you have in this team right now. And you do know what's in store if you add another weapon for Bo Nix to make this offense more elite or try to become elite because it's very bland right now.
Yeah, it's definitely struggled. We've seen, when you're talking about the 5 quarters of football between the fourth quarter of the Giants game and the Cowboys game against a dog water defense that didn't really do much to get better.
Yeah, it was a bad defense.
The Broncos looked amazing, but they also played the Jets, who had a terrible defense, and you needed a come-from-behind effort and a game-winning field goal from Will Lutz to avoid giving the Jets their first win of the season in London. So it's definitely been Jekyll and Hyde, hot and cold when it comes to Sean Payton and Bo Nix and this Broncos offense in 2025. What I'm gathering, Phil, is that you would say not paying the premium that the Dolphins wanted to bring in a guy like Jalen Waddle is a missed opportunity for Sean Payton and the Broncos.
Yes, because I'm looking at this team as a team that can get to the Super Bowl. That's all I care about because of what Sean has put out there, has called his shot, because of what this defense brings to the table. An elite defense that's truly number one. In my eyes, where we're watching it, the eye test, they have it all, and if they can continue to play at this level, they will be. But they need help. Offense has not been pulling their weight. Fourth quarter, yeah, but we're talking about just the other 3 quarters. Well, when you have another weapon out there that can get open, that can take stress off of Cortland Sutton, that can take stress off of Bo Nix, that can take more stress off the run game, that's what you're looking for to help out. That's all That's what I wanted.
So you've got a wide receiver room now that feels like it's going to be the same core that you started with 9 weeks ago. You got Cortland Sutton, a banged-up Marvin Mims, whose presence on special teams is arguably felt as much, if not more, than in the wide receiver room.
He hasn't even cleared protocol either, so he may not be ready for Thursday night.
Troy Franklin, who I think we can all agree has taken a big step in this coming season compared to what we saw from him last year.
Still inconsistent. He has to get going.
Pat Bryant, who has clearly established himself as one of the better blocking receivers on the team and has, he got his first career touchdown against Dallas. seeming to figure like he's going to get bigger chunks in the pass game, and then Trent Sherfield, who, a special teams kind of receiver, but somebody that could contribute, I guess, if called upon in the passing game. Phil, where is your level of confidence at now in the Jalen Waddle, Rashid Shaheed-less Denver Broncos wide receiver room as it's currently constructed?
Well, I'm trusting Sean now. My confidence is going to be high because we're 7-2. We're figuring things out. Troy Franklin, if he can stay consistent and be the best version of himself every game or close to it, he's a true receiver too. Now, the consistency part, I continue to say, and I'm going to continue to say that's a big factor. So now that Sean and George have not made any moves or did not make any moves for that before the trade deadline, we're all in. I'm expecting more from Pat Bryant. I'm expecting more from Troy Franklin, getting the ball, being more active down the middle of the field, catching his footballs. I'm expecting more out of Marvin Mims when he's available to stretch the football field. Because what has been going on with the offense has been stagnant. It's been more of like, hey, we're going to run the ball, but we're not really going to run it. And we're going to try to get Courtland Sutton going, but we're really not, because Courtland ended up with only one catch against Houston. So I'm hoping that Sean and George are seeing a bunch of stuff that we're not seeing moving forward. If we're going to win a Super Bowl, we're going to get close to it.
Well, I certainly hope they're seeing something that I am not, and maybe we are not seeing when it comes to their offensive line room, because I wouldn't have hated potentially bringing in a body in the interior offensive line to help kind of bolster that hole that was left by Ben Powers with the injury that he has sustained, and maybe is coming back hopefully around Christmas time, something of that nature. But if you're looking at Palcho stepping in at guard for Ben Powers with Luke Wattenberg and Quinn Miners, and then your backups are basically Alex Forsythe and Calvin Throckmorton, I think that, again, in a league that has a 100% injury rate, you're one more injury on that interior offensive line from things looking really shaky and potentially at the detriment of the run game that the Broncos have finally started to find sustainable success in.
Well, Richie, you're one injury away from being in trouble if J.K. Dobbins goes down. You're one injury away from something happening or it being ugly if Courtland Sutton goes down.
How about being one injury away from a scary thought if Evan Ingram goes down?
If Evan Ingram
your
goes
tight end
down.
room, if Evan Ingram goes down, is Adam Troutman and 41-year-old Mercedes Lewis.
And that's why another one where it's about the depth. It's about getting another key piece that can take that stress off the court. But if Court misses a couple games, you could rely on that next receiver. If it was Waddle, then you're sitting there with a true receiver one, and you're not sitting here concerned. You're like, okay, we got a true receiver one to go with Troy Franklin and Marvin Mims. But if Courtland Sutton goes down,
right,
what next?
If R.J. Harvey has to be the RB1, if Troy Franklin has to be the wide receiver one, that's a little bit scary when you're talking about a team that has deep postseason.
That's it. I just want more depth.
All right. Well, coming up next, we are going to continue throughout the course of today's show to monitor and react to everything that happened at the NFL trade deadline. But in the meantime, the Denver Nuggets have already made a habit of something that they rarely accomplished last season, and it looks to me like a sign of good things to come. That's next.
The Fan Flyaway is back, presented by 303 Law 4040. Save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. To kick off 2026, Denver Sports 1043 The Fan is sending you to Phoenix for the biggest party in golf. Airfare, hotel tickets, and $500 in spending money, all included. Head to thefanflyaway.com to register. That's thefanflyaway.com. Denver Sports 1043 The Fan.
What's going on, everybody? Phillip Lindsay here with the one and only Williams Jewelers. And guys, I know at least 50 of you guys right now listening are thinking about popping that question, and you need a diamond. And I'm going to save you some time and money right now by telling you this. Go see my jeweler, Williams Jewelers, for that perfect diamond engagement ring, the ultimate holiday gift, or just because that special someone deserves it. This holiday, imagine the finest jewelry legends all in a store together where they're going to treat you just like family, and their service reflects that. So come shop the finest loose diamonds in Denver. They have every size, shape, and price range you can imagine, and the largest selection of engagement ring settings I've ever set eyes on. And not only will they share the secrets of the business with you, they're going to give you the best price in Colorado, guaranteed. So why wouldn't you want to create moments and memories for yourself and the ones you love? So come on down to Williams Jewelers, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche, Denver's first family of fine jewelers. located in Cherry Creek North on 3rd Avenue and in Inglewood at Broadway and Bellevue. And don't forget to mention my name, Phillip Lindsay, when you walk through one of those doors.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Dan Jacobs with 303 Law 4040. With just a friendly tip here, I like to remind people that they never want to be gambling that the person that hits them has good insurance. So I want you to take a look at your insurance policies. Check and make sure that you have two things. One's called MedPay coverage. You want to make sure you have that. And then also UM/UIM coverage. This will protect you in case you get into an accident and the person that hits you doesn't have good insurance. If you have any questions, just give me a call. 303 Law 4040. That's 303 Law 4040.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Or are they promising you up to 10% growth per year, all for your retirement income? If not, then you need to come to Trajan Wealth. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you have a plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't keep working when you're supposed to be retired, and don't let any financial advisor tell you it's too good to be true. Call Trajan today, 720-204-8100. That's 720-204-8100.
Annuities, not advisory products. DBA Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions. Additional disclosures at trajanwealth.com.
Most people don't think about their garage door until it stops working. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner of Don's Garage Door Service. A noisy garage door is a cry for help. Most repairs are simple, but if left untreated, they can turn into costly repairs. Your garage door works hard every day, and a little maintenance goes a long way. We fix garage doors fast with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. There's never a good time for your garage door to break, whether you're rushing to work or you're trying to get the kids to school. We know how much you rely on your garage door. That's why we offer same-day repairs, because life doesn't wait, and neither should you. Over 90,000 five-star reviews don't happen by accident. They happen by putting people first. Fixing your garage door is what we do, but making your life easier and your home safer is why we do it. Families trust us because we deliver, and we'd be honored to earn your trust too. From repairs to upgrades, call Don's Garage Door Service today.
Who wants the lowest rate for life?
I
do. Everyone does, but it's only U.S. Mortgages. Lock in a low rate today, and if rates fall in the future, we will redo your loan and lower your rate without any lender fees, including the appraisal. There's no limit to the number of times you can do this. Always have the lowest rate for life. Get our 475 5-year fixed rate, 5.89 APR. Call 303-LOW-RATE or online at usmloan.com.
All loans subject to approval and change. See website for complete details. License number 392126.
Imagine a child in extreme poverty waiting over 365 days to be sponsored. End their wait today. Become a Compassion sponsor now. Text RADIO to 83393.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan is brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
You're listening to The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
We will react to all of the action and inaction at the NFL trade deadline here in Denver throughout the course of today's show. Richie Carney sitting in for Zach By alongside Phillip Lindsay. But briefly, Phil, to put a pin in that conversation.
Put a pin in it.
And pivot to what we saw with the Denver Nuggets last night against the Sacramento Kings.
Phil, the Nuggets have already made a habit of something that they rarely accomplished last season. And I think it's a pretty encouraging sign of things to come.
The Denver Nuggets have not lost at home in this young season so far. And further than that, they have yet to trail at home so far in this season. All 3 of their home wins have been wire to wire. They only accomplished that 5 times last season in 82 tries in the entire season, and they've done it 3 times so far in 6 games.
Richie, that's exactly what the Denver Nuggets wanted to do. Christian Brown talked about it before the season started. They
gotta blow teams out.
They need to blow teams out that don't need to be with them, and then win the tough games. But one thing that you have to take care of, right? Handle business at home. That's something that they do 2 years ago. They handled business at home. Now, last year, it was back and forth. It wasn't consistent enough. This year, they understand if they want to win it all, which they're going to have a great chance to do it, you have to finish guys off at home. That's when your younger players usually play better. That's when your bench usually plays better. And so that's exactly what they're doing. Now, I will say this. There's context to it because a lot of the teams that they have beaten so far are bad teams. All right, like, you know, and then the teams that are decent or good, like the Warriors or even Portland, who's an average team, they haven't won yet. So it's early, and I know that, and I don't want to poop on nobody's parade, but it's something that you have to handle the bad teams like they're doing, but get up for these bigger teams.
Handle them is the appropriate word. The Nuggets have shot over 50% from the floor in 5 of their 6 games this season. It's the first time in franchise history they've been able to accomplish that in that stretch. And they're only the 4th team since 1999 in the NBA to accomplish that. We got we got a season high in points for Jokic with 34, added in 14 boards and 7 assists. He took 10 3-pointers. That's a season high for this, again, young season so far. Phil, what have you made of Jokic's 3-point shooting over the last couple of seasons? He shot it more than he ever really had, to my knowledge, in his career last season, and he converted at a pretty efficient clip. In fact, if you took out the end-of-quarter heaves, the way the NBA has for this 2025 season, he was basically statistically the best 3-point shooter in the league, you know, with his volume and conversion rate on it. But it's kind of felt like, and I think last night against the Kings was a microcosm of it, it just doesn't feel like it's dropping the same so far in this season.
No, and Richie, it's early. It's early, but for Jokic's game is not shooting a 3-point shot. He can do it, and he can do it at a high level if he needs to. But I think for him, it's like, hey, let me be the quarterback. Let me get inside, get the points in the paint. If they leave me open for a 3, I'm going to take it. But this is why we acquired this talent. This is why we brought in Cam Johnson. This is why we brought in Tim Hardaway Jr. coming off the bench. So I don't have to sit here and force 3-point shots all game. Now, there's games where he's going to be open. There's games where he's going to feel it, and he's going to take those shots. But other than that, it's like, let me get everybody else involved so that it opens up and it spaces the floor out so I can get easy points in the paint.
I had this conversation with Jake Shapiro earlier today, and I basically asked him if it was fair, because far be it from me to try to introduce any kind of significant criticism or critique of Nikola Jokic. I think he's the best basketball player on the planet, and I firmly believe that every decision he makes on a basketball court is the result of a very thorough evaluation, examination, supercomputer processing.
Well, he's very calculated.
Of what's going on. He doesn't do anything by accident. So I think if Nikola Jokic is going out of his way to shoot 3-pointers more often, like he did 10 times against the Sacramento Kings, converting on 4 of them, it's with a purpose. And I think that purpose is pretty transparently, hey, it forces a defender to come out on me, in this case, Domantas Sabonis, who's not the best defensive perimeter player. It also opens up more passing lanes for cutters like Christian Brown. I think he's emerging offensively in that vein as somebody who can get to the rim and, more importantly, maybe get to the foul line on the receiving end of some Jokic dimes. And then, again, spacing for Cam Johnson, Aaron Gordon, opening up the 2-man game with Jamal Murray, etc. All that is there. But I got to say, Phil, when I watch Jokic shoot from like one step inside the 3-point line and it's just gas, It just hits every time. It makes me wonder, like, why don't you just take a step forward and take the 2 points?
Just take the step.
Can that be the new Sombor double? Like you're basically shooting a 3-pointer, but your foot's on the line, so it's only a 2. Because I think he would convert more of those.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I think for him is he doesn't want to have to shoot the 3-point shot. If Cam Johnson was doing his part and he's honestly struggling still, that's one of the reasons I think why Jokic took a lot of shots yesterday. One, it was there, it was open. He understood who he was playing against and who he was going up against and who was guarding him. But also it's like, hey, I'm trying to get Cam Johnson going. His shot's not falling right now, or he's not taking the shots because for some reason he seems like he's nervous to take the shot. Now, it forces me to have to do more work. It forces me to shoot the shot because the guy on the wing that should be taking the shot doesn't want to do it.
Dante is getting correctly in my ear and saying that just inside the 3-point line, or if you've got that like real close proximity to it, is arguably the worst shot in basketball. And I don't disagree with the logic behind it, but I will say I think that shot for Jokic and for maybe other players around the league goes in more. And I think that with this offense under David Adelman, who with Michael Malone, there was so much emphasis on the fast break, the transition offense. That's where Christian Brown initially started to shine as a member of the starting lineup. That's kind of gone by the wayside, and David Adelman has made a much more significant effort to run the half court, to run sets, have design plays, and run kind of like play action in the NFL, run different actions off of similar looks. And that to me says that possessions are more valuable for this 2025 Nuggets team. And I think if you're bricking off the front iron 6 or 7 times a game from beyond the arc, but you can hit pretty cleanly from 2 or 3 feet forward in that scenario, I'm not against it. I'm not trying to introduce any kind of criticism. Jokic is the best. I love him to death. And I think this Nuggets offense is going to be fine. They're on a blistering, historic pace scoring-wise, averaging north of 110 points
they can score
per game. And they can score. In fact, I think the only thing that's preventing them from really just kicking the NBA door down offensively is Cam Johnson connecting on these catch-and-shoot threes that just haven't quite been there.
0 for 5. 0 for 5 from the 3-point line yesterday night. Like that's
and Jamal wasn't great from beyond the arc either.
Jamal wasn't consistent enough when you needed him, but that's why Jokic had to pick up the slack. That's why Jokic ended up with 34 points, 14 assists, 7 rebounds, and 4 steals. He had to do a little bit more because of the people around him not doing their part at times. And then they started to get it going at there towards the end and in the middle. But if we're gonna be this championship contending team, which I know we are, Cam Johnson is gonna have to start getting things going.
Do you think that we are closer to that in the near future, or is this something that we're going to be talking about 3, 4, 5 weeks from
now?
No,
I definitely think we're closer to it because I believe that Jokic is going to have some words for Cam Johnson. I believe Jokic is going to talk to him and be like, hey, look, I need you to step up.
It's there, too. It's there. He's
there.
putting himself in the right position. Jokic is doing what he always does, finding the open man. It's like water finding, the path of least resistance. It's just not converting, and it just feels it's rushed. It feels short.
Yeah, Cam Johnson just has to find his groove.
But what I'll give him credit for is he's active without the basketball in his hands. He's moving around, contributing to the offense. He's driving to the lane. He's hitting in the mid-range.
Are we talking about Cam Johnson or are we talking about MPJ?
So MPJ did a little bit better about that.
Well,
but MPJ's been better as a catch-and-shoot 3-point shooter than Cam Johnson so far.
For sure, Richie, but like everything you're saying, it sounds like we're talking about MPJ. And the reason why we got rid of MPJ and brought in Cam Johnson is because he's adding more to
but the difference is
team.
The difference is Cam Johnson's ceiling within this offense, I think, is higher than MPJ's.
Well, I need to see it.
You're right. You're right. I just think that we are fortunate that the Nuggets offense has kind of taken off through the first 6 games of this season the way that it has. And I think in order to, on the middle stretch of the season, because it's a grind, man, going through 82 games like that. You talk about the grind of an NFL season, and the week-to-week, the physicality of it. I'm not trying to compare them sport to sport, but we talk about that, and we hear players talk about that in the NHL and the NBA all the time. Just get us to the postseason, man. It is like, so I get that there's still kinks to be worked out, and if they're going to take that next step, Cam Johnson and unlocking that aspect of the offense is going to be big.
I just want to see it, Richie.
I do too.
Show me the shot, Cam Johnson. Show me the shot.
Hopefully we are closer to that than it may have seemed before the start of the season with the adjustment period of sliding into the lineup the way that he has. All right, coming up next, the Denver Broncos may be missing something that almost every other AFC contender has in common. I'll tell you what it is coming up next.
It's
Sean Payton asking too much from his sophomore quarterback?
I think there's so much pressure on the quarterback from the coach to be perfect and to be perfect right now. And then he's inaccurate. He's throwing interceptions. There's that unnecessary pressure from a coach who's not putting his quarterback in a position to succeed by running the freaking football.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
What's going on, everybody? Phillip Lindsay here, and I want to tell you about my new obsession, and that's with Daisy's French Onion Dip. One of my guilty pleasures during football season is eating dips with chips, wings, and veggies while watching any big-time game. And now that Daisy's has come out with a delicious Daisy French Onion Dip, along with a Daisy Ranch Dip, guys, these are definitely game changers that you're not going to want to miss out on. They're as delicious as a homemade dip, and they're made with real herbs and spices and other ingredients that you can find in your own kitchen. So if you want to be blown away like I was, then give Daisy's French Onion Dip a try today. You can find Daisy's French Onion Dip at a grocery store near you.
Brandon Stokely here from my team, ROX, Rocks Heating and Air. Are you ready for winter? Worries you might need a new furnace? Don't know where to begin? Rocks Heating and Air makes it incredibly easy with their new, free, no obligation online heating and cooling quote. It takes less than 5 minutes and gives you options instantly. No calls, no waiting, and transparent pricing. Only at ROX, Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX, Rocks Heating and Air.
Looking to upgrade your kitchen, laundry room, or outdoor cooking area? Look no further than Mountain High Appliance. Family owned and operated for the past 31 years. I'm Brad Barnett, president of Mountain High Appliance. We have hundreds of appliances hooked up live for a true try-before-you-buy experience, plus professional delivery and installation. Our price match guarantee ensures you receive the best deal, and special financing options make your purchase affordable. When it's time for new appliances, think Mountain High Appliance.
Mountain High Appliance, your favorite appliance store.
Thank you.
I know some people think after a car accident, do I really need a lawyer? Hiring Postman Law isn't only about the courtroom. We're your single point of contact in a complicated claims process. We take on the insurance adjusters, organize your medical bills, coordinate with doctors, and make sure nothing gets missed. Get the outcome you deserve without the headache. Call 844-POSTMAN. When other firms promise, Postman delivers.
Call 844-POSTMAN. Attorney Advertising.
For many of us, it's happened before. Your hair is thinning, crowns disappearing. Maybe the hair loss has you feeling your identity is lost altogether. The solution that worked for me, it's an incredible yet simple one-day treatment that starts growing your own natural hair the very next day. And it's guaranteed to grow for life. It's the Advanced FUE from Advanced Hair. We've all seen the pills and lotions that come with monthly subscriptions. They help retain what you have, but what if you want your own natural hair permanently in specific areas? From Advanced Hair's state-of-the-art facilities to world-class Dr. Tanya Paul's, it's not maybe your hair will regrow, it's guaranteed that your new hair will grow. You decide how much, how thick, and where. It's why Advanced Hair is the winner of Westward's Best of Denver. For your free consultation, $250 off and 250 free hair grafts, call 720-459-HAIR. That's 720-459-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
Joel Klatt, the nation's leading voice in college football, joins Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth every Wednesday morning. Presented by Groove Toyota. Here we go. Tune in at 8:10 for exclusive insight, bold analysis, and maybe just a hint of shenanigans. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan. It's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
the Denver Broncos may be missing something that almost every other AFC contender in 2025 seems to have in common. When you're looking at the standings, Phil, the Denver Broncos are tied for the best record in the AFC and the best record in the NFL.
Let's go!
7-2, right? How many times? We haven't been able to say that since the Super Bowl season.
I know, Richie, and you're from here too, so you know how that was.
Yeah, no, and it's again, I don't think it can be understated how weird in some ways it feels that the Broncos through 9 weeks of an NFL season are in the position that they're in right now.
I really don't think you can understate it if you really think back and remember what some of these seasons, 8, 9, 10 weeks into the season have been like.
Richie.
I mean, we're talking about, coaches on the hot seat. We're making quarterback changes.
Richie, I was a part of it, man. I was in the locker room watching it all transpire. I was the guy in there hoping I didn't get traded. I was the guy looking around like, damn, our coach is going to be out the door. Right? Like it's been bad times. And then, of course, like you explained, like watching it as a fan is brutal. Playing and knowing that you're playing for nothing other than your paycheck, which, of course, it's lovely. But
I would say so.
But the reason why you're playing, if you truly love the game, is because you do love the game, because you love playing football. And nobody wants to lose. You don't want to be a loser. So when you're out there and you're making the money, yes, that's great. But when you have to go into that building every single day and you have to put your body on the line and yet you look up and you still lose games, it sucks. So the Denver Broncos are 7-2 with everything out in front of them. Life is good.
They are AFC contenders in the realest sense of the term. Phil, I'm going to give you a list of other AFC contenders alongside the Broncos, and you try to tell me what you think they all have in common.
All right.
The 7-2 Indianapolis Colts, the 7-2 New England Patriots, the 6-3 Pittsburgh Steelers, the 6-2 Buffalo Bills, the 6-3 LA Chargers, and the 5-3 but lurking Kansas City Chiefs.
What they all have in common, they have a quarterback.
Well, that for sure. Yeah.
They got a quarterback.
See,
like,
that's true. Now, I said the Broncos may be missing something. I don't know that I can confidently say the Broncos are missing a franchise quarterback.
No, not a franchise quarterback, but
still questions.
Bo can play better.
Yes, he certainly can.
You're missing your quarterback playing all 4 quarters.
It is an offensive position that I'm talking about.
But you put me on the spot, man. I mean, all of them have receivers. All of them have a quarterback. They have a running back.
All of the teams that I mentioned have a threatening, productive receiving tight end.
A receiving tight end.
They all have a weapon at the tight end position that is dynamic. The Indianapolis Colts have Tyler Warren. He's over 500 yards on the season with 3 touchdowns. Hunter Henry for the New England Patriots has 4 touchdowns and about 400 yards. Pat Freiermuth has had kind of an up and down season, but we know what Pat Freiermuth's body of work has been in recent years for the Steelers, and I think they're finding new life with Aaron Rodgers. I would argue the Buffalo Bills have 2, Phil, in Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox, who have 5 touchdowns and about 600 or so, 500 and so yards between them. Orandre Gadsden for the LA Chargers has kind of shot out of a rocket. I believe he came out of Syracuse. And with the injuries at the tackle positions, bookending Justin Herbert, their passing game has had to go completely revamped. It's not Ladd McConkey and Quentin Johnson anymore. It's quick get-offs and short routes to this man, Orandre Gadsden. He is a weapon. And then the Chiefs obviously have Travis Kelce. He's got 540 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Well, we got a tight end too.
Do we?
We got a tight end too now.
Is Evan Ingram at 26 receptions for 215 yards and a touchdown through 9 weeks of the season? Is Evan Ingram on par at the receiving threat as a tight end with all the other contenders in the AFC, who those tight ends are an integral part of why those offenses have succeeded the way they have?
Yes, he is. Here's why. When Evan Ingram's out there and he's getting open, Bo Nix is not connecting with him.
There was a pretty bad moment there against the Texans.
Not even, there was 2 times in the Houston Texans game where Evan Ingram was wide open and Bo Nix doesn't get him the ball.
And he was pissed too. You could tell he was shaking his head.
Of course. There's been multiple times throughout the season so far where Evan Ingram and Bo Nix are not on the same page. And then you have this situation where Evan Ingram isn't in the game and he's sitting there watching Adam Trotman and Lucas Kroll get all the reps. So if we want to be, obviously you just said right here, successful moving forward, you have to have a tight end, which we have said multiple times. Evan Ingram can be our tight end. We paid a lot of money to bring him in the building. We actually got upset because he left the building and he flew to the Chargers, came back and signed with the Denver Broncos to be our joker, and yet you don't have Sean Payton implement him in the game plan every single game. Evan Ingram can be just like Travis Kelce or the Pittsburgh Steelers tight end or New England's tight end or the Colts tight end. Now, I'm not saying that he's as good as some of them, but he can be involved like these other tight ends are involved in the game plan. Sean needs to do his part, just like Sean needs to do his part by running the ball. If you run the ball, you set up the pass. If you run the ball, you set up play action. And usually when you set up play action, the first guy you look at is your tight end coming across the football field. So for Evan Ingram, it's not about can he do it. We know he can do it. It's about Sean Payton making sure that he has plays dialed up for him every game to be successful. Evan Ingram would have scored a touchdown last Sunday against the Houston Texans.
There is an element of Bo Nix missing open shots and open receivers that are schemed open by Sean Payton. That is a real thing. But it is also, you can just look at it and say that of the tight ends that I mentioned there, outside of Dawson Knox, who's a tight end 2 for the Buffalo Bills, Evan Ingram is the least productive tight end
because he's
on that list of contenders.
Because he's not being targeted like all these tight ends, Richie. All these tight ends have game plan situations where they're a part of the game plan, that they may be the number one target. Evan Ingram, he's out there. Even when he scored the touchdown, Evan Ingram, that is, he scored the touchdown against the Philadelphia Eagles. He was not the first read. He was the third read. So let's get more plays of Evan Ingram being the first target or the guy that you read first, and you go from there. Get him going and being creative in the red zone, which Sean does a great job of in red zones of being creative with the tight ends. Why can't we do that with Evan Ingram more? So for Evan Ingram, he just needs the opportunities. He hasn't just forgot how to play football or play the tight end position. It's about regaining the confidence. It's about knowing that I'm going to get the opportunities like a Cortland Sutton or even a Troy Franklin. And it's about Bo Nix executing when Evan Ingram's open.
Yeah, 40 targets for Evan Ingram on the season compared to Tyler Warren, who is sitting at 57. So you're talking about basically a 30% difference in targets there for Warren versus Ingram.
And also,
as a part
Richie,
of the offense.
when you talk about a lot of these tight ends, they're in there because they can pass block too. So like the element of surprise is a little bit different because now it's like, hey, you're in there blocking. Exactly, you're in there blocking, but you also can go for a pass. Right now, when Evan Ingram enters the game, everybody's antennas go up saying, okay, he's here to catch the football. He's not a good blocker, so it kind of it limits what Evan Ingram can do. And so for Evan, it's like, dude, you got to be able to block. You have to be a little bit more physical and show Sean that you can do it all, or you're going to continue to sit there when Lucas Crow comes back watching Adam Trotman and Lucas Crow eat up all your time.
I misspoke, by the way. It's the 5-4 Kansas City Chiefs. I think I said 5-3, but lurking nonetheless. And I think
they're still tough.
That game in a couple of weeks is going to be something special for the future of the AFC West. All right, coming up next, the NFL trade deadline has officially passed, and the Broncos stood pat. Where does that leave the remaining question marks on their roster, and what does it potentially mean about the game in 48 hours from now against the Las Vegas Raiders? All of that coming up next.
After a crushing loss on the road to Utah, the Buffs returned home and got blown out by Arizona. With the season pushed to the brink, will Coach Prime turn things over to Julian Lewis? Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Ever tried fixing an outlet yourself? First, you watch a DIY video, then you grab your tools. Next thing you know, sparks are flying and your hair looks like you just licked an electrical socket. Let's avoid that, shall we? Piper Electric has been providing expert electrical service since 1983. Repairs, upgrades, EV charger installations, even commercial and industrial. They do it all and do it right. They're giving you $50 off your next service. No fried hair required. Call 303-422-9219 today. Piper Electric. Leave the electricity to the experts.
Be careful if you haven't filed taxes in a while. The IRS is going after non-filers like never before. Whether you have income taxes or payroll taxes that have not been filed, Advanced Tax Solutions can help you get back in the system and avoid trouble with the IRS before they show up or send you a scary letter. Call the people I trust, Advanced Tax Solutions. They'll help you get back into the system and off the IRS's radar. 303-753-6040 or visit advancedtaxsolutions.com.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th, new Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach here. The holidays will be here before you know it, and for many families, that means excitement, but also stress. Between gifts, travel, and higher prices, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, especially if you're already relying on credit cards to cover the basics. If that debt is piling up, you're not alone. If you're a homeowner, you might have considered reaching out to my friends at American Financing, but hesitated because you don't want to give up your low mortgage rate. That's why American Financing created the Smart Equity Loan. A simple, smart way to get your finances back on track without giving up your low mortgage rate. Unlike a HELOC, which can fluctuate with the market, the Smart Equity Loan offers a fixed rate, so you'll have one predictable monthly payment. It lets you use your home's equity to pay off high-interest debt, free up cash flow, and still keep your existing mortgage intact. There are no upfront fees to find out if you qualify. Call American Financing at 303-695-7000 or visit them online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Replace stop, opt out. Terms and conditions apply to the earnings promotion.
Do you have caregiving experience as a parent, teacher, nanny, coach, or in another similar role? Hop Skip Drive is looking for experienced caregivers who want to help students in their community by driving them to and from school. Earn up to $50 per ride with Hop Skip Drive's welcome promotion, all while helping your community. If you have your own vehicle that is no more than 10 years old, a clean driving record, and at least 5 years of caregiving experience, you could become a Hop Skip Drive care driver. Just text STUDENT to 323232 to get started right now. Hop Skip Drive gives you the flexibility to set your own schedule and earn competitive pay. It's simple. Drive in your free time and make a real difference for students right in your neighborhood. Don't wait. Text STUDENT to 323232 right now. Text STUDENT to 323232 and start earning up to $50 per ride during Hop Skip Drive's welcome promotion period. That's STUDENT to 323232. Text STUDENT to 323232 now.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan. Leading off with the big story of the day, here's The Drive with Zach By and Denver, Colorado's own Phillip Lindsay.
1 hour in the books. Quicker than Dover and Cecil hit I-25 today, Phil.
Yeah,
Did you see that, man? It was like, bam, don't let the door hit you on the way out. No crosstalk today.
They didn't want to talk to us, man.
Well, Cecil definitely had to get to Broncos Park, powered by Common Spirit. Obviously, they're doing some post-trade deadline press conferences and things of that nature.
You better say it right, Richie.
And it's good that, right, yeah, listen, don't come after me. And it's good that they did, though, because we got an update from Broncos Park, powered by Common Spirit TM, about Marvin Mims, who failed to clear concussion protocol in time to play against the Houston Texans. But as of today, Phil, in a walkthrough style practice, because they play on Thursday night, so not a lot of popping, Marvin Mims returned to practice.
No, that's great news. I mean, if you didn't feel his presence not being there against the Houston Texans, then I don't know if you were watching that game. When it comes to the special teams, when it comes to just being that gadgets guy that you can put all around the football field and make plays for you, a playmaker, that's what we missed on Sunday. And now having Marvin Mims back, because if you're practicing, you're playing now. So now having Marvin Mims back, we can all breathe a little bit better, sleep a little bit better, knowing that Marvin Mims is going to be back there for the punt and kick returns. And also, he's going to be implemented in this game plan and maybe out of the backfield again. The speed and stretching the football field, we're going to get that again. So hopefully Marvin Mims is good to go and he doesn't have setbacks, because sometimes with these concussions, it's a tricky thing. Like, you feel good and you think you feel good, and then that next day, it goes back to just like hurting again. I'll never forget, I was with the Indianapolis Colts and Nyheim Hines. He had a concussion and he was trying to rush back. And so Nyheim was up. I was going to be down. Literally, Richie, Nyheim comes walking in the day before the game. He says, hey, like, my head is really, really hurting bad and I'm throwing up. Well, I was already prepared all along that, hey, I may have to play. That's what I had in my head. A lot of players, when they hear that they're not going to be up, they just take the day off.
Yeah.
For me, I was like, man, I'm going to continue to just prepare because I'm going to be a pro's pro. And sure enough, I get the call saying, hey, Phil, Naheem's down. You're going to have to play this game. But I was ready. I was ready to go, ready for my moment. So these, like I said, with these concussions, they're a tricky thing that they pop up out of nowhere. You feel good one day, the next day you're not.
Yeah, and clearly, the NFL is emphasizing this. They're extra careful. They're in that phase where they want you to think they care about player safety, and then eventually they won't. It just kind of depends on what the news cycle is. But regardless, I think Marvin Mims' contributions beyond the wide receiver room became very evident with just one sample size of him not being there.
We missed you, Mims.
And yeah, you can say, it's special teams, punt returner, like put Bidet back there, put Michael Bandy back there. But Marvin Mims is an all-pro at that position, and I think that it maybe caught people's eyes that weren't expecting it, how big of a gap that can be. So I think that's a positive for the special teams unit. I think it'll obviously be a positive for a Denver Broncos offense that needs just about every push you can give them. And let's not rule out Marvin Mims' ability to run a clear route and then accidentally be in position to catch a Bo Nix overthrow to set up a game-winning field goal for
Everybody gets lucky
one
now.
of their, what is that, 4 or 5 fourth-quarter comebacks on the season now for the Broncos?
No doubt. I mean, Mims is going to be a part of this game plan on a Thursday night. One, he has fresh legs. Two, his ability to just do whatever he wants. As a running back, hell, you could put him in as a tight end, as a receiver. So it's just adding that extra weapon, which we need since we didn't go out there and trade for one. We're adding in that extra weapon that can help Cortland out, help Troy, and specifically help Bo Nix out.
That is the Sean Payton-sized elephant in the room, is that the Denver Broncos on NFL trade deadline day stood pat. They are in positions to be buyers for the first time in a number of years, certainly the better part of the last almost decade or so since they won the Super Bowl. But they don't. Sean Payton loves his Q, and he loves his 53. And he said as much in his press conference earlier today. We like the team that we have and the direction that we're going.
Do you,
essentially,
Sean?
He does. I mean,
Do you?
that's what he's telling you. Do you believe him?
No.
Are you taking him at his word?
No. Look, I believe that the Denver Broncos were trying to get something done. Why would you not? You have a chance to go out there and add a weapon for Bo Nix in this offense that has been stagnant, right? You have a chance to add another guy that can be explosive. So I believe that they were in on somebody like a Waddle.
No, they literally were. That was reported.
Okay,
yeah, Jordan Schultz reported that the Broncos and other teams kicked the tires on Waddle, but Miami's asking price was too high. That's something that James Palmer had speculated. We'd heard it kind of around the local market here and even nationally.
And we'll get more information from James later. He'll be on our show.
About 45 minutes from now.
So I'm excited to see what James is hearing out there or hearing. But for Sean to go out there and say we like our team and we like the players on it, I understand that. But also Sean's running the ship. He's the captain of this ship. And if you're getting rumors out there that the Denver Broncos were in or monitoring a player, that means Sean was given the go-ahead or the nod saying, I want somebody else. Now, of course, he's going to sit here and say he's okay with what he has because they weren't able to get a deal done with Waddle or Shaheed, the receiver out of New Orleans. Of course, he's going to tell us that, and he's going to make sure that the locker room feels settled and not unsettled, thinking like, hey, you're going to replace Troy Franklin or somebody else with a receiver that can help you right away. So, no, I don't believe that Sean is okay with what's going on because his offense is not okay right now, Richie.
But when Sean Payton wants something, Phil, doesn't he usually get it, even if he's got to bang the table and huff and puff and blow George Payton's house down? Doesn't he usually get what he wants in life and in football?
Well, life is not always fair. Maybe Sean was willing to give a second, and you said it earlier, Waddle. Let's just say Waddle because Waddle was a guy that everybody wanted. Waddle would have probably wanted, or the Miami Dolphins would have wanted a second in something else. And maybe George was like, hey, Sean, we can't do that. We're putting ourselves in a bad situation if we give up more than a second-round draft pick. So this is where you do have to trust George and Sean, and they have to be on the same page. But I think that they wanted to get it done, as we all heard. He didn't get what he wanted, and so now he's trying to come back and say he's good with what he has. No, Sean. The offense needs to be better. You need another weapon.
So you're saying that George Payton gave Sean Payton a budget, and then Sean Payton wanted something that costed more than he thought, so he had to go back to the wife to ask for more money, and she said no. That's what you're saying.
What I'm saying is George was like, hey, do you really want to do this? They want more than, let's just say, a second. They want a little bit more on top.
Second and a fourth. Second and a fifth.
You know, and for George, it's like, I'm comfortable with giving a second, but giving up more, I don't know if we should do that, Sean. And then maybe Sean's like, okay, let's listen to the general manager and go from there.
Yes, temperance, listening, all hallmarks of the Sean Payton experience.
Do you think that Sean is truly okay with what he has right now, or do you think that he was really trying to get something else?
Yes. No, listen, I think he was looking to add. I mean, that's literally been reported.
Yeah.
But, Phil, Sean Payton said he thinks before the season, he thinks this is the 7th team he's ever coached that can win a Super Bowl. Jalen Waddle wasn't a part of that.
Well, that was before the season. Look what the offense looks like. He's frustrated. My man took it out on a reporter yesterday.
Evan.
We got it. We got the.
Do we have it? I don't think we have that. We got to get that though for sure.
We have to get the audio of Mr. Evan.
My name's Luca.
Why do you believe that Sean is so snippy with the media? Because his offense is not doing well. If his offense was doing well, he would be happy to talk. Sean loves to talk, but his offense is not. So how do you do that? You fix it. 1, Bo Nix has to be better. 2, you know he wanted to go out there and get another weapon. Why would you not? You're a head coach. You're in the trenches. You want to win a Super Bowl. He told us that.
He did. And there is certainly a part of Sean Payton that I think is adamant about not putting his team or himself in a position to have to eat those words. He has his double latte moments, as he does at least once every offseason, whether it's to Jarrett Bell and going after Nathaniel Hackett or talking about, Russell Wilson repeatedly and all of that stuff. He has those moments, but then he usually tries to kind of walk it back. The caffeine buzz wears off, and you kind of just, you look at it more measured. But, Phil, the other teams around the league, including the team that they are tied with at the top of the standings, did not stand pat. And I think that adds another layer to this conversation. Now, you could sit there and go, okay, well, tell me what major moves the Kansas City Chiefs made, or the LA Chargers made, or the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? And maybe that list isn't very long, but I'll tell you what, the Indianapolis Colts certainly feel like they're in a Super Bowl contending window, trading 2 first-round picks to bring in Sauce Gardner and also shipping off a wide receiver as a part of that.
I think they ended up trading 1 first-round pick and A.D. Mitchell. I don't think they had to give up the 2.
No, I think it's 2 first-round picks, 2026 and 2027.
So they gave up 2 first-round and A.D. Mitchell, who they got.
The Jets now have 4 first-round picks over the next 2 years. So that's a steep price, right? We're talking about a second, maybe end change for Jalen Waddle. Now, Sauce Gardner is a caliber of player at the cornerback position that would warrant something like that.
He's one of the best in the league.
He's one of the best in the league. Definitely the best named after like a potential condiment, for sure. But if the Colts are in the position that they're in at 7-2 through 9 weeks, and they've gone through some doldrums with the Anthony Richardson experience and all that, similar to the instability that the Broncos have had.
Yeah.
And they felt the need to really push the chips in and make a move like that. What makes the Broncos situation that much different? They're obviously different teams. They have different strengths. But it should be a mindset and a mentality,
well,
right?
It comes down to stubbornness. It comes down to one team. You're talking about the Colts. They're obeying their eyes. They know that their defense is lacking in a position. They know that they need to go out there and secure a cornerback, which they did. They got a really good cornerback because they feel like they have a chance to do it all. They're feeling good about themselves. They're 7-2. Where you have the Denver Broncos and you have Sean, and let's just say Sean, you believe what Sean said at the podium where he's like he's good with just his guys.
I do. You think he's a liar?
I do. I think that he really wanted somebody else and he couldn't get him. But if let's just go with what you think, which for Sean it's like my vision, I'm gonna force it to come true. Just like I'm gonna force Bo Nix to be this quarterback that I envision him being like Drew Brees.
J.K. Dobbins is averaging 6 yards a carry, but I'm going to make sure R.J. Harvey gets some nice moments.
Exactly. So it comes down to Sean being stubborn, saying, "Hey, like, look, we couldn't get the guy that I wanted in the trade by the trade deadline, which I believe it was Waddle. Hopefully, James Palmer can tell everybody that I was right on that one. We'll see. But also, it comes down to like, hey, I have a vision for Troy Franklin, Pat Bryant. I end up getting rid of Vele for Pat Bryant. So I want to make sure all the guys that I envision having success are successful here."
Which, by the way, I believe you got a 4th-round pick for Devon Vele, right, from the Saints. And they just traded Rashid Shaheed to the Seahawks, who have talent at the wide receiver position already, for a 4th and a 5th-round pick. So in theory, by giving back the 4th-round pick that you got from the Saints for Devon Vele and then kicking in a 5th, which is a net 5th-round pick, you, in theory, could have gotten a deal done for Rashid Shaheed, unless you think the Saints maybe weren't willing to do business with Sean Payton.
Yeah, I think the Saints are like, look, we don't want that 4th-round pick back.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna let you keep that.
We're
one.
fine to take players from you. We don't give you anything.
Yeah, so like stubbornness, I would say with Sean when it comes to just trusting and believing in what he has. Now, this is what I will say: we're 7-2. We're 7-2.
Do you believe in the 7-2?
I believe in our defense. I believe
That's
in the
a half
fourth.
answer.
I believe in the 4th quarter, but I still need to see more from Troy Franklin. I still need to see more from Pat Bryant because he hasn't been able to really be an active catcher or active guy when it comes to catching the ball because he's been doing the dirty work, and Sean is forcing the rookies to earn their stripes. Mm-hmm. I need to see more from Marvin Mims, and he has to stay healthy. The only thing that continues to replay in my head is like, what happens if Cortland Sutton goes down for a little while? This is football. Now, knock on your head, knock on the wood, Richie. What happens if someone like J.K. Dobbins goes down?
Don't even put these things out in the universe.
But also, it's like J.K. has a resume for being hurt. So you end up losing Cortland or J.K., then what? Do we just pack up?
It significantly changes the complexity of the offense and the way that they are going to be able to convert when they're already struggling at reasonably full strength. You could say the same thing about the offensive line room, right? They have an injury to Ben Powers. The interior of their offensive line, it looks like Palcho's going to kind of try to hold that gap, at least in the short term.
Richie, you must have been an offensive lineman. You've been on the offensive line side for a little while. You're upset we didn't go and get somebody I
just think it's one of those sneaky things, Phil. We've seen it here in Denver. Look at the revolving door at right tackle since Orlando Franklin walked out the door years and years and years ago. They haven't been able to find one. You know, we were hiring Nathaniel Hackett's buddy to be the tackle at one point. And it's one of those things where, and we've seen it happen at cornerback too. I know Patrick Surtain's gone down, but we've had years where we walked into a season with 6 corners where we thought, oh, this room is deep. And then 7-8 weeks into a season, we're like, oh my God.
Yeah, you're depleted.
The secondary is just getting shredded because they don't have quality depth out there to field week in and week out. And I think offensive line is absolutely a position that you feel good about it until you don't, until an injury here or an injury there, and you've got to shuffle things around. It affects the timing and the rhythm of the entire offense. I mean, you were an offensive player who relied on that. You know that.
You need linemen, Richie. I'm playing with you. You need linemen. They're probably the most important, other than the quarterback. Your offensive line holding up to protect your quarterback. They're the second most important position on that football field if you want to have success. This is where George and Sean have done a great job of building from the inside out and securing the interior offensive defensive linemen and paying them so that you can have success, so your cornerbacks and your quarterback can have success. So let me ask you this. When it comes to the Denver Broncos moving forward, the trade deadline has come and gone. It's no longer here anymore. Are you confident that we can still win it all with what's out there, with the roster that's intact?
Are you saying we get the same Broncos team from weeks 10 to 17 that we've gotten from like weeks 1 to 9?
I mean, the tendency is like the defense is going to play really good and the offense is going to be average.
No, I am not confident. I am not confident in that respect that if we get the same Broncos team that's relied on 4+ fourth quarter comebacks, one in the case of the Giants, one of the most historic fourth quarter scoring outbursts in NFL history, and then you got a skin by the skin of your teeth against the New York Jets.
Yeah.
And you've got to come back against the Houston Texans, who lost C.J. Stroud in the first quarter of the game, and you were really dealing with Davis Mills as a defensive unit. No, I don't think that if the Broncos team that, albeit is at 7-2, is the Broncos team we're going to get on the back half of the season, that we are looking at this team as a legitimate AFC championship contending team. They absolutely can be that if they get improvements from certain players who already are on the roster.
Troy Franklin, Evan Ingram,
Bo Nix,
Nix.
Not missing wide open receivers. Sean Payton finding ways to put players in positions to succeed. So if they get percentile improvements, you can argue how big or small the range should be. From some of those key players, I think they absolutely can be that, and they won't need or have needed to add anybody at the deadline. But if you're just telling me we're going to repeat weeks 1 through 8 in weeks 9 through 17, I don't think that is a legitimate AFC contending team.
Now, I will say this. As much as I wanted to add a weapon at the receiver position, and I'm upset because we didn't do anything at the trade deadline, when you take a step back and you say, okay, for Sean, what he's telling the locker room, what he's telling his offense is, I do believe in you. What he's telling this young receiving core when it comes to Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin, and Pat Bryant is like, we believe that you guys are growing at a good pace, that we're going to continue to add more to your plate, that we believe that you're going to go out there and make more plays, which, hey, Troy Franklin had one of the biggest plays of the game on Sunday versus the Houston Texans with that 2-point conversion. That's what you need as a young player. That's truly athletically and gifted and has the speed. Is just the confidence. And that's what Troy Franklin seems to continue to build, is just confidence in being more consistent. So for Sean, it's like, hey, I'm believing in you guys. Go out there and prove to Phillip Lindsay and Richie and everybody else that I'm making the right choice by not going out there and acquiring a guy like Waddle, that we do have enough pieces to win it all with you guys, and you guys are getting
that we would have brought in
week,
if he wasn't too expensive.
Yeah.
That we would have brought in if we got the right.
Well, that's what I think. You think that Sean's telling the truth.
No, listen, I think that the two things can be true, not to sound exactly like the guy that normally sits in this chair, but the Broncos kicked the tires on several players, and Jalen Waddle seemed to be one of them, according to Jordan Schultz and others. That's a fact that's been reported. But I also think that doesn't necessarily mean that he has no faith in or slipping faith in the roster that he's put together, in the offense that he's kind of at the helm for. I think you can do two things simultaneously. You can say, hey, I am banking on and believe in continued stacking growth from a guy like Troy Franklin, who from year 1 to year 2 has made a big significant leap.
And that's a fact,
in my opinion. Marvin Mims, who kind of was the pseudo Joker, the baby Joker role last year by force. They bring in Evan Ingram, and he's still getting moved around, is Marvin Mims, taking sweeps, running different, a larger route tree, obviously his contributions on special teams. So I think he can believe in all those things, and he can believe in his Q that's going to continue to take more and more steps to be that top 4 or 5 guy in the next handful of years, but also say, hey, if we can bring in a guy that can help us maybe microwave that a little bit or safeguard us and protect us against relying on that too soon, I think that's a good thing as well. But also, Phil, when you look at Sean Payton historically, he's never traded for a wide receiver at the deadline. So we were kind of hoping for something that literally Sean Payton had never done in his coaching career.
Well, now, Sean, the pressure's on you. Troy Franklin, Pat Bryant, Marvin Mims, you guys have to step your game up. You guys are capable of doing it. You have all the tools to do it. Bo Nix, you have to step your game up. This offense is now going to have to start pulling their weight, start helping the defense out, because you're going to go up against a couple tough teams. Let's just say the Kansas City Chiefs, where Kansas City is going to have a really good offense, and they're going to be able to score points. Mm-hmm. Now, for the Denver offense, what can you do? You need to help your defense out by scoring points. So I need to see more from Bo Nix connecting with Evan Ingram and being accurate with Evan Ingram. I need to see more of Troy Franklin and Marvin Mims when he's healthy. I just need to see an offense that can sustain drives and, let's just say, stick with the run a little bit longer than what we're doing right now.
I think, Phil, that the Broncos offense has played with fire a few too many times when it comes to the lack of continuity, of rhythm, and of scoring production in the first 3 quarters and change of these games. And I think the explosive offensive output against the Giants, I think the the 44-point effort against the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Which to me is a little fugazi given how bad that defense was. You can't take it away from him.
No, there's
but I
context
think
to
you can have a measured approach to it. I think erasing scoring an 18-point fourth quarter against the Philadelphia Eagles, who were kind of struggling when you met them, or they really kind of started to struggle after you met them. It's crazy, by the way, when you look at teams after they play the Broncos, have a horrible record. They're like 1-7, I think. But I think this Broncos offense has just played with fire a few too many times. I mean, Phil, we needed a walk-off field goal to beat the Texans with a backup quarterback for the majority of the game. That has worked through the first half of the season, but you're going to start playing the Kansas City Chiefs. You're going to play a good defense in the Green Bay Packers coming up. You know, the Washington Commanders certainly looked like it was going to be a different matchup 5 weeks ago than it does now.
You see that gruesome injury from
Yes. He didn't even need to be in the game. And Dan Quinn had to eat some crow.
I mean, the heebie-jeebies right now I'm thinking of it.
Yeah. I don't think the formula that they've found success with multiple times with these fourth quarter comebacks against the Jets, the Texans, etc.
It's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. And while I think there's a value to saying, hey, we can win when the chips are down. Things don't have to be going our way, and we can dig ourselves out of that hole and building that belief within the locker room, on the defensive side included, kind of like the Tebow time thing of like, hey, if we just hold on for one more drive or two more drives, that offense is going to get it together and we're going to win. There's value in that.
Oh, yeah, it's a learning step, right? It's another step of a championship team where when you're in tough games or you have to do a comeback fast, be in a comeback behind game and you come back and you win it. Like, you want to be able to do that and say, I have the experience, which the Denver Broncos do have. Now it's about putting 4 quarters together, a 60-minute football game where you're playing good. You don't have to sit here and play perfect, but sustain drives, get a couple turnovers, just look good throughout the game, leading up to that fourth quarter.
I thought it was going to burn them against the Texans. There was a part of me that thought it was going to burn them against the Dallas Cowboys, who had the number one offense. It will, if they continue to play with the matches, it is going to burn them. And when you're playing against a team like they will 2 weeks from now, 2 games from now, the Kansas City Chiefs, and they're going to have to do it again on Christmas Day, both of those games probably having a significant impact on who's going to win the AFC West. Teams like the Chiefs and teams that you're going to meet in the playoffs, including 2 of the teams that they've already lost to this season, eventually teams close the door on you. They don't give you the opportunity to play around in the fourth quarter and, suddenly we're going to come alive and we're going to score X amount of points and we're going to get it rolling even though we didn't for 3 quarters. They're not going to give you that opportunity. And the Broncos and Sean Payton not adding anything at the deadline, to me, is betting on themselves and putting more pressure on themselves that says, we know that and it's going to be corrected.
Richie, in Sean we trust.
Apparently.
In Sean we trust.
Not you. I seem to trust him more than you do.
Oh, I'm just being real. Sean can sit up there and say everything, he wants to say or we want to hear. Sean knows what he was doing. He wanted to go get another weapon. It was too much for him or for George, and they didn't get it done.
That's what happens when the wife holds the checkbook.
Look, we're 7-2. In Sean we trust.
In Sean we trust. All right, coming up next, Russell Westbrook had some interesting things to say after the loss to the Denver Nuggets. The Colorado Rockies GM search is going about as good as you might expect. And Tom Brady is doing something that I'm not even sure should be legal. That's next.
After another fourth quarter comeback, has Bo Nix proven that he has the it factor?
I'm confident Bo's going to continue to get better. This offense is going to continue to get better, and you're going to see more complete 60-minute efforts from this offense. But you know what? It is so good to know right away that we have a quarterback here who seems to have the clutch gene.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Join Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan in Modelo at Mile High Station on Thursday, November 6th from 4 to 6:15 p.m. for the Fan Football pregame show. Get your head in the game with orange and blue face painting and ice cold Modelo. Modelo, brewed for full-time fans.
Why wait for the weekend? Twin Peaks is serving up scratch-made food and pouring cold drinks every night after dark. Come experience the best late night in the league any day of the week. Only at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Are you one of those people who dread going to the dentist? If so, have you tried sedation dentistry? Learn more about sedation dentistry at coloradosedation.com. Sit back, relax, and dream with the most experienced sedation dentist and staff at Clarkson Dental.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach By here for 5280 Exteriors. Right now, they have a generous deal on windows. Receive $1,000 off every 10 windows you purchase. On top of that, they want to be a part of your Thanksgiving celebration. They will provide you with a $100 gift card to your local grocery store to contribute to your Thanksgiving festivities. Call 5280 Exteriors today to take advantage of this special November promotion. 5280 Exteriors, the altitude of quality.
The right financial strategies can make a huge difference, especially if you're nearing retirement. Adam Mueller talks retirement strategies with Mile High Money. Saturday mornings at 8 on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner of Don's Garage Door Service. Most repairs are simple, but if left untreated, they can turn into costly repairs. Your garage door works hard every day, and a little maintenance goes a long way. We fix garage doors fast with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. Over 90,000 five-star reviews don't happen by accident. They happen by putting people first. Fixing your garage doors is what we do. From repairs to upgrades, call Don's Garage Door Service today.
At 303 Law 4040, we know getting into an accident stinks, and so does getting worked over by the insurance company or even your slick-talking made-for-TV lawyer. So if we can help, just give us a call. 303 Law 4040. Save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. That's 303 Law 4040.
Football is here, and Fitness Gallery's fall football sale is your playbook for a winning home gym. Save up to 50% off on select premium equipment. Visit any of our 7 stores from Denver to Fort Collins and score big before the sale ends.
You better walk. You're the best divorce lawyers in town.
From executive producer Ryan Murphy.
I tell my clients every day, marriage is just a trap. Let's light it on fire. Showtime, ladies.
Starring Kim Kardashian, Naomi Watts, Niecy Nash Betts, Tiana Taylor with Sarah Paulson and Glenn Close.
God, I love my job.
Hulu original series, All's Fair. Now streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+. For bundle subscribers, terms apply.
The holidays are here, full of joy, family, friends, and yes, a little hustle and bustle. That's why you need Aleve. Between cooking, shopping, and all those extra errands, aches and pains can sneak in. Aleve is here to help with long-lasting body pain relief. Don't let body pain slow you down. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, you can keep up with the season's magic and all that awaits. Pick up Aleve and get back to what really matters, making memories. Use as directed.
The wait is over. AC/DC's back live Power Up Tour, July 28th. Empower Field at Mile High. Tickets on sale Friday at 12 noon at Ticketmaster.com. July 28th, Empower Field at Mile High. Don't miss AC/DC.
Hey, get in. What? Who are you? I'm future you. Constipation with belly pain still coming back? Yeah. Mia, our doctor figured it out. She said it's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, and Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan's powered by Archwell Health. Primary care for adults age 60 and older.
Want to partake in our contests? Check out the rules at DenverSports.com. Every day at 3:30, the drive comes off the top rope to hit you with a 1, 2, 3.
Finally, The Rock has come back to Denver!
Tape your wrists, stretch your spandex, and oil your hair. Here's Zach and Phil with today's 3 count on the drive.
All right, let's come on the top rope with it. 1. All righty then.
Woo!
Phil.
Yes, sir.
Russell Westbrook found a microphone. And after the 6-point loss to the Denver Nuggets with his new home, the Sacramento Kings.
Let him cook, Richie. Let him cook.
Russ was asked about his departure from Denver, maybe how he may be feeling about that, and maybe what led to it during the offseason.
That was great. I guess other people didn't.
Was it them who did not? I do think there was a report or a speculation that they had sort of...
The speculation, the truth is that they didn't want me back. It ain't up to me.
Yeah.
Sorry, John. God always has a plan. Be patient. Not up to me. They don't want me. That's okay.
Anyone else?
Somebody else do.
It is a player option. Would you have considered picking that up even if they didn't necessarily want you back?
Well, they told me not to.
Yeah.
I don't go anywhere I'm not wanted.
I don't go anywhere I'm not wanted. They didn't want me. Phil, is it also fair to say that there's probably some reasons for that, and that the Nuggets, based on what we've seen with the completion of their roster this past offseason, are probably in a better space without Russell Westbrook with the current roster than they would have been bringing him back?
Well, Rich, you know I was a Westbrook fan. I was all in on Westbrook. But there's a lot of speculation going on, a lot of reports going on about Russ in the locker room and being negative at times. So, of course, when you want to try to change the culture, which the Denver Nuggets had to change their culture,
yes,
you have to get rid of
what
they call bad apples.
It was bad, Phil.
So for us, it was like, hey, look, man, like, you're not a part of our vision. We're going in a different direction. We don't want you here, but we're going to be upfront and honest with you. So at least you can give Adelman and Ben Tinzer and everybody upstairs more credit, where it's like at least we were transparent with you of saying, hey, look, we don't want you back. And for Russ, good on him for not taking that option, man. Good on him saying, I'm going to go somewhere else, or he doesn't have to play anymore if he doesn't want to. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, he doesn't need year 18 to go to the Hall of Fame.
So Russ helped us out in games. I was all on the Russ train. I was good with that. But this is a new team. New team, new vision, and Russ was not a part of it. And I'm okay with that. And obviously he is too.
All right, next in the 3 count.
1, 2.
Phil, for all the hope and potential delusion that we had around the Colorado Rockies with the elevation of Walker Monfort and maybe turning a new page at 20th and Blake, it does feel like the more things have changed, the more they stay the same with the purple pinstripes. We are getting reports now coming out of The Athletic that say that the Rockies, who had 2 candidates that had emerged for their open GM position, are no longer being considered for the role. Both Arizona Diamondbacks assistant general manager Emil Sodaye and Cleveland Guardians assistant GM Matt Foreman interviewed for the position in the last week or so and are no longer in the running because of what the Rockies are prompting as reasons to move in another direction. There's also been speculation that one turned down an offer from them and the other just removed his name. Said, you know what, this isn't for me. And that's interesting because there was a lot of baseball minds who were saying, no, you don't understand how attractive this Rockies job could be. It's a challenge that someone can tackle. It's and this is coming from legitimate baseball intel people saying that the Rockies are this puzzle, this challenge that a young, hot start, up-and-coming analytical GM would love to be able to tackle and prove. It's like Moneyball, right? That doesn't sound like it.
No, like, yes, that could be the case if that young general manager comes in and has all control. But it's looking like there's not a lot of these GMs that want to be a part of this. One, because it's the Rockies and what has been going on. But two, maybe they're not going to have control some of the decision-making that you want a general manager to be able to have.
And if you want further proof of that, we now have multiple reports surfacing in the last 48 hours or so that say that active right-handed reliever and former longtime Rockies bullpen star Adam Ottavino has talked to Dick Monfort about becoming the club's general manager. We are talking about hiring an active pitcher who was a longtime former Rocky, somebody who arguably might be a better arm in their bullpen than they have right now, as being the team's general manager. Phil, it feels like
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
What
man?
are we doing?
It feels like we're headed for a perennial 100-loss club to continue to find
Richie,
lower and lower floors.
After watching the World Series, Dodgers, Toronto, I was getting excited. I was okay, like I can envision at some point in my lifetime seeing the Rockies in a World Series. I was getting excited again. And then the news comes out like this, and then, hey, we might be going for an active player right now that's going to turn into a general manager. It's like, oh, here we go. I lost all faith yet again. Crazy, man.
It is. It's just more evidence that, and by the way, a salary cap's going to fix that. A salary cap's going to help the Rockies find their way out of the MLB basement. I don't think so.
1, 2, 3!
This one, I actually had to double check to make sure this was a real headline, and it is. According to a writer from People magazine that's been picked up by Bleacher Report, Tom Brady, the GOAT, 7 rings, has revealed that his current dog named Junie is a clone of his late former dog, Lua, who died in December of 2023.
So what's the dog's name? Lua and Looney?
Junie.
Oh, Junie.
And Lua. Junie is the clone of the now deceased Lua. The dogs, according to reports, were cloned by Colossal Biosciences, a biotech company that Tom Brady is an investor in, using blood samples collected prior to Lua's death. We are cloning dogs in 2025. How is this a thing? How is this legal?
I think it's a little sick, man. Like, Tom, just go out there. There's so many dogs. Just go out there and just get another dog. You're cloning a dog?
Right.
Your dog?
What happens? Do we need to amend adopt, don't shop? Like adopt, don't shop, or clone? Like, there's so many dogs out there that could use a home. Dante, do you got something to weigh in here?
Yeah, I've never been more sure in my life that Tom Brady was doing something to his body that was illegal.
Yes.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
The TB12 method,
yes.
Alex Guerrero, all that stuff. It's not just avocado ice cream.
Yeah, if you're cloning dogs, you're putting something inside of you that is not allowed by the NFL.
And he did look ghastly there toward the, like in the last couple of years. It felt like all the meat in his face had kind of thinned out. He looked kind of skeleton-like.
Plastic surgery, man.
I don't know. Maybe in his next life, Tom Brady can clone himself as a jiu-jitsu instructor.
Oh, too soon.
I'm just saying. They have a kid together. It can't be too soon.
Would you allow a clone Tom Brady to play in the NFL?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, because at this point, the floodgates are open, right? It's like NIL. The floodgates are open. Let's do Jurassic Park. Let's do it all.
What would his name be? It wouldn't be Tom Brady.
It would be Tom Brady, too.
Yeah, like Tommy, or like, I don't know. I was trying to think of another like OM name that starts with another letter of a T, but I don't think there is one.
No.
Like Dom?
Dom. There
Dom
we go.
Brady.
Dom Brady. Dom Brady. All right. We will see if we get any suspiciously Tom Brady looking quarterbacks coming in the ESPN rivals classes of years to come. Coming up next, the Colorado Avalanche made an announcement about tonight's game that has me raising my eyebrow a little bit. We'll see if Phillip Lindsay's gotten to the bottom of it. Coming up next.
This Veterans Day, Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan needs your help as we look to give back to those who have served their country. Teaming up with Foundation Cadillac, Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan is giving away 1 year of free oil changes to one of our state's many veterans. To nominate a current or former service member, head to denversports.com/veteran. That's denversports.com/veteran. To all our nation's veterans, we at Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan thank you for your service.
Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach here. The Fed just dropped rates again, and that's really great news for American homeowners. If you're feeling overwhelmed, thinking about the upcoming holidays, there is no better time than now to get your finances in order. With rates dropping, now is the time to pay off that debt. American Financing is helping homeowners access the equity in their home for instant savings. They're saving people just like you an average of $800 a month, and many are seeing rates in the low fives. That's a game changer compared to those sky high credit cards. And if you start today, you may be able to delay 2 mortgage payments. It costs absolutely nothing to find out how much you can save. The holidays are going to be here before you know it, so don't wait. Call their salary-based mortgage consultants today. American Financing can be reached at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000 or online at AmericanFinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org. APR for rates in the 5s start at 6.196 for well-qualified buyers. Call 303-695-7000 for details about credit costs and terms.
I should have had Done Right do it. Don't be that person that says this after ordering your remodeling project. Hi folks, Dan Cicchini, owner of Done Right Kitchens and Baths, Windows and Doors. Simply put, we make people happy by being particular, just like you. 800-362-8370.
Hellsberg gifts checked off the list. Now, time for wrapping. Earrings for mom. A gold bracelet to match the rings Danielle wears every day. And for dad, a new watch, because we all know he needs one. All right, this is going to be a good one.
Our favorite things for your favorite people. Shop in store at Hellsberg.com for up to 50% off.
I'm Corey Rose, anchor at 9 News and proud mama who enjoys taking my kids mountain biking at Winter Park. I love preparing you for the day ahead with the latest headlines. Whether it's tackling safety in our kids' schools or covering breaking news, from Aurora to Lakewood and everywhere in between, we've got you covered. Because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to 9 News Mornings. Weekday mornings live starting at 4:30 anywhere you watch.
These days, losing weight is such a roller coaster. You try the new medications, and when you stop taking them, you gain it all back.
Today is a new day.
Today is a new day.
Today is a new day.
Let Soda Weight Loss teach you the healthy, natural way to let go of the weight for good.
Do you know how good it feels to let go of 51 pounds of belly fat? And I did it without drugs, shots, or hunger. Because Soda Weight Loss works. Just look at all the Google reviews and all the thousands of before and after pictures.
For a limited time, 2 people can start with Soda Weight Loss for the price of 1.
What does that mean? It's more fun?
Double the motivation, double the results, half the cost.
The best decision I've made in a long time was just to call Soda Weight Loss.
Take advantage of Soda Weight Loss 2-for-1 partner program. Visit sodaweightloss.com. That's SOTA weightloss.com. Soda is, say it with me, state of the art.
At Postman Law, we're not your typical personal injury firm. Our lawyers have argued and won at the United States Supreme Court. We've gone head-to-head with giant corporations like Uber and Amazon, and we've helped clients recover billions in verdicts and settlements. We bring that same firepower to every case, no matter the size. When you've been injured, having the right lawyer matters. Call 844-POSTMAN or visit postmanlaw.com. Others promise, Postman delivers.
Call 844-POSTMAN. Attorney Advertising.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if you're over 50, it's likely you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments have, in most cases, made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. We have 5 offices across the Front Range to serve you.
Stay up to date on the Broncos and the latest news from around the league with our NFL insider James Palmer, exclusively on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Mondays on The Rundown with Richie Carney, Tuesday afternoons on The Drive, and Friday mornings on Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, all season long. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan, DenverSports.com, and the Denver Sports app. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
to do my best Phillip Lindsay impression, hey, it's back. Not talking about football season. Shout out Hermes. Talking about the fan flyaway. The fan flyaway is back thanks to 303 Law 4040, our buddy Dan Jacobs and Jacobs Law. This time we're sending one lucky listener and a guest to Phoenix this coming February, for the biggest party in golf. Here's what you're going to get. 2 tickets to Saturday's round at TPC Scottsdale, round-trip airfare for 2 from Denver,
2 nights hotel stay, and $500.
Man, nothing gets better than that.
It doesn't. For more information and to register, head to thefanflyaway.com. And remember, if you've entered one of our previous flyaway contests, you're already registered for this one. Once you sign up for one flyaway, you're entered for all future flyaways. So if that's you, get ready to listen for your name coming up soon. All right, Phil. The Colorado Avalanche made an announcement about tonight's game against the Tampa Bay Lightning that has me a little curious about what might be going on over there at Ball Arena. And it has to do with their netminder between the pipes.
Is it curious or is it you being nervous?
Well, I'm definitely nervous. I'm definitely nervous about, in fact, you could say I'm nervous about all 3 of our teams that matter, because the Rockies don't, here in Colorado.
They're trying, Richie.
I'm
They're
nervous.
trying.
I'm nervous about the Broncos and standing pat at the trade deadline, because I believe they have legitimate contending aspirations and the capability to have a deep playoff run right now in 2025. I've been nervous for years about the Denver Nuggets and the Colorado Avalanche consecutively, because they're damn good hockey and basketball teams, and they can win championships in any given year with the Jokic core around him and the McKinnon, Makar core around them on the ice. I believe it, and that makes me inherently nervous. And I think that one of the biggest transformations in recent years for the Colorado Avalanche has been their goaltender room. The fact that it's not, I don't want to say it's an afterthought, but it is not a tossing and turning keeping us up at night the way that it was with Georgiev and Justus Annunen, the way that it was even at times during the Cup year with Darcy Kemper and Pavel Francouz. Now, they had an offensive firepower that could overcome a lot of that, and obviously did.
And honestly, we have it now.
We do,
at least to overcome it.
At least to start the season now. Yeah, just don't let it go to overtime or a power play or a shootout.
You ain't lying.
Scott Wedgwood's going to start tonight between the pipes against Tampa Bay, meaning that there's only one game in a span of 6 days for Mackenzie Blackwood, and he can't go. And it makes me curious as to why. Is it because something got re-aggravated? He obviously missed the start of the season, and Wedgwood kind of came out of the gates on fire, seemed to kind of falter a little bit for a couple of games, got pulled in the first period, and then has kind of started to rebound, and you get Trent Miner in there for a game or two. But this team needs a Mackenzie Blackwood between the pipes if they're going to make a Stanley Cup run the way they did a handful of years ago.
Yes, Richie, this is why you're paying Mackenzie Blackwood a lot of money, over $26 million to be your starting goalie. We do know that Mackenzie Blackwood is coming off of some type of injury, a loaded body injury.
A hip thing, yeah.
Hip, and usually when you're missing this much time, you had surgery, which we know. But when you go out there and you play in one game, have 6 days of rest, and yet you're not out there as a starting goalie, we should all be concerned. Because you are right. Maybe something happened where you had a setback, or he tweaked something, or he's just truly not ready to go. Because once you have surgery, whether it's minor and they say it's minor or it's major, it takes a long time to heal. And so for Blackwood, maybe it was like I rushed back too fast, and he didn't look bad. But, of course, he's going to look a little rusty because he hasn't been there.
Yeah.
And now you're having looks like another setback. We should all be a little concerned because we need our starting goalie if we're going to make this cup run, because we have the pieces. We do have the depth, even at goalie with Wedgwood. But Blackwood is there to be the starting goalie and make the key saves for us.
Yeah, it's nothing against Scott Wedgwood. I want to make that very clear. I love both members of the Woodshed. I love Scott Wedgwood, and I love Mackenzie Blackwood.
Wedgie's 7-1-2. Like, he's doing a great job.
They're in the order that they're in for a reason. And I think that it's such a luxury that the Avalanche now have two legitimate goaltenders that you can feel confident in on most nights, and certainly in a postseason setting, you're more comfortable than you've been in years with the two of them kind of tandeming there between the pipes. I'm not trying to make a mountain out of a molehill, but I am concerned to the degree that goaltender, just like field goal kicker in the NFL, just like pitcher in baseball, it's kind of a quirky position, right? it requires a mentality and a mindset that can be very fragile at times. And if you've got a nagging injury, a lingering ailment, you have a couple of bad games like Wedgwood had where it just clearly wasn't his night.
Yeah.
He gave up like 4 goals
And
in the first period. It's going to happen, right? But that you're riding that line constantly. And so Mackenzie Blackwood dealing with nagging injuries on top of a position that's already mentally a little bit of a tightrope walk just makes me kind of nervous because I know what the Avalanche are capable of. I know the talent that they have around them, and I think the talent is spread from the top 6 through the middle into the bottom 6 as good as it's been in years. And I just don't want any tripwires or landmines to get in their way from doing what I think they need to do in the regular season, which is secure good seeding for the postseason.
Well, then what you need to do is make sure Blackwood is 100% before you throw him back out there between the pipes.
And I thought that's what they did. That's why they waited
but
this
you know,
long.
that's your body. Your body is going to tell you. It may feel good at the beginning, but you go out there, and now that you're playing at a level where you're having to be really twitchy and quick twitch, and it doesn't feel right. Like, things happen, you have setbacks. So moving forward, if you're McFarland, if you're Bednar, it's like, hey, we're not putting you back out there until you're 100% because we need you to be 100% into focusing and locking in on your job and not worried about, hey, if I move this way, I might tweak it or it hurts if I move a certain way. So you want to be all in. So I expect Blackwood to stay out until he's truly ready to play. And for Wedgie, like, this is your opportunity. You're looking to get paid. You've been doing a really good job. Yes, you had a couple bad games. It's going to happen. But go back out there and put pressure on Wedgwood to when Wedgwood is 100% and he's coming back, that now he has to stand on his head and do a bunch of things to make sure that he continues to secure, like, his job, which he will be secure because he's getting paid a lot of money, but you want that competition. So don't put Blackwood back out there until he's healthy.
It's not an advantageous position, I think, for Wedgwood to begin either. Tampa Bay, who they're playing tonight, is on a 5-game win streak. They've outscored their opponents 17-9 over the last 5, so they're clearly putting the puck in the net at an efficient rate. And to be honest with you, there's added pressure in this young 2025 season already that it feels like the Avs have got to get it done in regulation. Because I think they've got an overtime problem, and I think they've got a shootout problem, and I still think, even though they've been a little bit better of late, at least in small doses, I think they've got a power play problem. They're 0-3 in overtime, and they're 0-2 in shootouts so far this season. So now you've got a situation where you got a banged-up goaltender, you got a backup goaltender who I think is probably one of the more capable backup goalies
One of the best in
the league. But the Avs have, at least in this, we're talking about just tonight's game, they've got a tough matchup, and there's an added pressure that's built over the course of the season where it's like, we got to get this done in 60 minutes of hockey. Because if it goes beyond that, for whatever reason, all that firepower offensively, all that speed and precision and skating, it gets negated. And the Avs seem to suffer.
No doubt about it. And this is where it's like, hey, that first line, you got Nathan McKinnon, you got Lecky, like Marty Netjes, who's having a great start, 18 points already, or 17 points. Like, come on now. Like, they're going to have to come out firing. They're going to have to put the shots on goal, get the opportunities, make them count. That's what you're looking for. And then, of course, the penalties, right? The power play. We have to make some of those count. The penalty kill has been phenomenal for the Avs. They have to keep that up. So when you do have Wedgie in there, you're going to have to rely on a backup goalie. And when Trent Miner's in there, your offense, the firepower has to be on display.
The Denver Broncos stood pat at the NFL trade deadline, and even though they kicked the tires on a guy like Jalen Waddle, they ultimately decided that the asking price was too much. What was the asking price for the Dolphins wide receiver? That's the first question I will ask James Palmer coming up next.
The Fan Flyaway is back, presented by 303 Law 4040. Save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. To kick off 2026, Denver Sports 1043 The Fan is sending you to Phoenix for the biggest party in golf. Airfare, hotel tickets, and $500 in spending money all included. Head to thefanflyaway.com to register. That's thefanflyaway.com. Denver Sports 1043. The Fan.
Cake Mortgage Corp. Equal Housing Lender. NMLS number 1734623. Licensed in Colorado by the Division of Real Estate. Terms and conditions apply. What if you could use the equity in your home to get cash fast? With no appraisal, zero hassle, and less waiting with Cake? You can. The Cake Fast Cash program is like turning your home into your ATM. People are using it to pay off high-interest debt, do renovations, tackle student loans, or cut monthly bills by hundreds, even thousands of dollars. The best part? Your current mortgage rate won't change. With Cake, you also get peace of mind. We're AAA rated by the Better Business Bureau and backed by thousands of 5-star reviews. Cake Mortgage. Your fresh-baked Cake Fast Cash loan is ready to enjoy. So don't wait. Call 720-850-0012. That's 720-850-0012. Or visit cakehome.com for thousands of 5-star reviews.
You better work. You're the best divorce lawyers in town.
From executive producer Ryan Murphy,
I tell my clients every day, marriage is just a trap. Let's light him on fire. Showtime, ladies.
starring Kim Kardashian, Naomi Watts, Niecy Nash-Betts, Tiana Taylor, with Sarah Paulson and Glenn Close.
God, I love my job.
Hulu original series, All's Fair, now streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+. For bundle subscribers, terms apply.
The holidays are here, full of joy, family, friends, and yes, a little hustle and bustle. That's why you need Aleve. Between cooking, shopping, and all those extra errands, aches and pains can sneak in. Aleve is here to help with long-lasting body pain relief. Don't let body pain slow you down. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, you can keep up with the season's magic and all that awaits. Pick up Aleve and get back to what really matters, making memories. Use as directed.
You could save thousands of dollars on the products your business uses the most with the Home Depot's new Pro Extra Preferred Pricing. Registering is free and easy. Just have your tax ID or business or contractor's license ready. But don't wait. The current preferred pricing benefit will end on November 15th. Visit your local Pro Desk to register now and unlock the deepest savings on the products you choose.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now, the company's changed. Or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So, what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan today, 720-204-8100. That's 720-204-8100.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. See website for details.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
It's not too late. There are thousands of kids waiting over a year for a sponsor. End their wait today. Sponsor a child with compassion. Text radio to 83393.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver.
You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan. You're listening to The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
We are joined, as we are every Tuesday, by friend of the station, friend of the show, NFL insider to the stars, James Palmer. Richie Carney sitting in for Zach By.
The one and only James Palmer.
Phillip Lindsay.
Richie.
The one and only.
All
The
right,
one
now.
and only.
Don't disrespect him.
He's got your back. See, James, we were having that conversation yesterday. You're part of the crew.
Jazzed up there.
You know,
Yeah,
I
he was
like
ready
the
to go.
music. I'm a beats type of guy, man.
I love it.
I'm a beats type of guy, says Phillip Lindsay. James, the NFL trade deadline, all of the speculation and the hand-wringing and the constantly refreshing our X notifications has come to an end. And the Broncos stood pat. They do not do anything of any significance, really anything at all at the deadline, and it's left some people wondering kind of why. And I think especially when you look at reports about Jalen Waddle, the Broncos and others kicked the tires, but the asking price was too high. What, if anything, have you heard about what that asking price was that the Broncos and others were unwilling to pay?
Yeah, I might have, been a part of that too. I put a little tweet out this afternoon going, Broncos might be looking to make some noise. And that was the buzz.
Oh, we saw the eyeballs, James.
That was definitely the buzz from around the league a little bit, from inside the building a little bit. Just and there's a lot has to happen for a deal to come in to fruition. We have to put that out there. Two sides need to both agree to make a deal. And I actually sent out a little while ago. I just got to say this because I meant it. A lot of fans will get upset. I can't believe you didn't make a deal.
Yeah.
And then the reason oftentimes a deal doesn't happen, Phil, and you know this, is because you had a certain amount of compensation you were willing to give up. And you would draw a hard line in the sand and you weren't going to go past that. The same fans that'll get upset about, I can't believe you didn't make a deal, are the same ones that will say, I can't believe you overpaid. Yeah. Look at how much you gave up. You guys overpaid. So let's just remember that those are all part of what's going on in the building about getting something done. It doesn't mean the Broncos weren't aggressive. Doesn't mean they weren't looking to make themselves better. I think they were. I think that asking price was high in Miami and everybody was curious. With a new man running the show there and Champ Kelly for the time being in place of Chris Greer, were the thoughts going to change a little bit on some of these players being available? It certainly did. They were looking for a partner with Bradley Chubb. They ended up getting a deal done with Jalen Phillips. And I think their asking price remained high on Jalen Waddle. I think teams were interested, but it was a high asking price. I will say this about Waddle, and I thought this was fascinating. Talking to some decision makers around the league throughout today, yes, the asking price was up there. It was a 1 and maybe then some, definitely a 1. And it was high. But there were people around the league that are decision makers going, that's actually, though, not a terrible deal when you look at Jalen Waddle's contract, which is phenomenal in terms of the way these deals have been going at the wide receiver position. And you have control of him in 2026, so it's not a rental. And the type of player he is a clear, pretty much number one type of receiver that can do a lot of different things for you, specifically after the catch. So it was a high asking price, but I think you were going to get quite a bit in a lot of people's minds. But again, the price was up there. I think Denver had some ideas, had some thoughts. I don't know how far down the road it got, but it definitely kicked around the idea of maybe acquiring somebody and ended up, not making a move. And I think that happened in a lot of buildings today.
Well, James, I was one of those fans, and, I'm a fan now. That was upset. I wanted to add another weapon for Bo Nix. I wanted to add another receiver like Shaheed or Waddles. And I did. I jinxed that part. But going forward, now you know who the Denver Broncos are going to be offensively. The guys that they have in the building, they have to stick with them. Do you feel like this team is still a Super Bowl contending team and honestly can win it? Because Sean said a lot of stuff during the offseason of how he feels like this can be a Super Bowl winning team, and yet the offense has struggled. Do you believe that this offense can get back on track and we can win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, do I think this is a Super Bowl winning roster? Again, my entire day today was talking to people in buildings across the NFL. And I would say this, one thing that was brought up repeatedly, not just about Denver, but across the league, if you have a great defense, you always have a shot. And that was the discussion in a lot of conversations today that I had. And, Denver's defense is definitely up there as one of the best in football. They get after the quarterback as good or better than anybody else in football. So I think you always do have a shot. When you mentioned the offensive side of the ball, Phil, I think for them to have that chance, now, they didn't pull the trigger on any sort of additions in terms of pass catchers for Bo Nix. I think for this to happen, you need to continue to see, and maybe it needs to be expedited a little bit, growth from that number 2 spot, whether it's Troy Franklin, whether it's Pat Bryant. If they continue to get better, yes, right? If you're seeing them grow by the way we saw Troy Franklin grow from the start of training camp to now, okay, let's do that and maybe add some to it. If these guys continue to grow around them, and it's been a slow burn with Evan Ingram finding his way in this offense, if that continues to grow as well, I don't think Sean's lost his patience with this group by any stretch. And if Bo makes some plays and hits on some of these deep shots that are there, certainly I think it's there. But I think you have a good defense, you have a solid offensive line if they stay healthy, and you run the ball well. That's a pretty good recipe to make some noise.
It certainly could be worse, James, and it's better than the Broncos have found themselves through 9 weeks of an NFL season since 2015. So to a certain degree, I think there's an element of trust that comes with that about the direction that they're going and the belief that they have going forward, and trying to balance that with maybe we could have used X or Y or another piece here and there to help us get there. But, James, when the Denver Broncos take the field for pregame warmups against the Las Vegas Raiders in about 48 hours, they will not have to worry about covering Jacoby Myers, who gets shipped out before the deadline. James, why would the Raiders look to do that with a game coming up 48 hours from now? Was this simply just granting a wish of a player who had asked out multiple times, or is there maybe some internal admission within the building, given the way the Raiders' first half of the season has gone, about how the back half is trending?
Well, I'll first say this. I mean, I don't know if I don't gamble, but is there like an over-under on targets for Brock Bowers? Because it could be 30 on Thursday night. Brock Bowers could have. You know, I mean, it could be unbelievable. And you saw this offense obviously operating through Bowers in the Raiders' last game in the way that he was targeted and ran that offense. Listen, I from everything I gathered, Jacoby Myers obviously wanted to play elsewhere. He made the request before the season. And during the season, I would say he still was a model citizen and teammate. He didn't make it uncomfortable for anybody in that building. He still practiced hard. He still played hard. He still worked hard. He knows he's in a contract year. So I don't think it was anything that where he like forced his way out. I know he made his thoughts known, but that didn't happen. I think they realized, you know, there's a lot of, they got a good return for him. They got more than they would in a comp pick. That they got for the Jaguars. And I think Tyler Lockett coming in can kind of alleviate a little bit of it from them acquiring him. So I just think John Spytek is there for a long time, guys, like a long time. His contract is different than Pete Carroll's in terms of years. And so I think he's looking at going, you know, these picks don't, you know, aren't awful. They have a ton of capital now next season. I mean, a ton of capital next season. And I think that played a part in this for sure.
James, we're getting ready to go into the 10th game of the season, and Bo Nix, our franchise quarterback, I still believe in. He's struggling at times. The first 3 quarters, everybody's mad at him. That magic in the fourth quarter, everybody gets happy. Where are you at with Bo Nix?
This is where I stand. And I was talking to some former quarterbacks about this that have played in the league for over a decade, all of them. And I was like, so which one would you rather have? Would you rather have like the it gene, the clutch gene, the poise gene, the fourth quarter never panic, never heart rate go up gene? Or would you rather have the, like, I can play completely on time, I can do exactly what's happening if everything's great, and Sean's going to scheme it up for me, and I don't have that other gene? I'm going to take what Bo has and then allow my growth and my offensive-minded staff and my great play caller and Sean Payton to build the other 3 parts for me. And I think all of them kind of agreed. That part that I described, Phil, can't be taught.
Yeah,
it's in you or it's not, and it's in Bo. And I think that's something to really kind of hang your hat on while we're learning and growing at the quarterback spot in year 2. I think that's a big part of it. I mean, I don't think you want a guy that maybe he comes out quick and then he withers under pressure in the fourth quarter. I think we'd be having far greater conversation if that was the problem. So everybody I talked to thought, you know, that part that Bo has is certainly there, and it's either you got it or you don't, and he has it. And I think you can continue to mold and grow with the other aspects. So to me, that gives me some confidence.
I'm sitting here staring on our YouTube stream at a guy in James Palmer who got the ultimate hair gene, and I'm sitting across from a guy in Phillip Lindsay who got all the genes that led him to play in the NFL, and I'm suddenly realizing I would have taken any of the genes that you mentioned, James, because I got the I'm 5'9"
had a good hair gene, man. That was out the helmet. I was actually picturing him when he was bobbing his head like that was Phil pregame when he used to bob the head.
I have asked Phil Lindsay multiple times what it would take to bring back Afro Phil. I have legitimately asked that question. I do though. Amanda, our boss, might. Drew might not, but I do, and it sounds like James does as well.
I do. I'm going to text Phil after this. I have a picture of Phil that I took while I was walking across the goal line in a game between the Broncos and the Texans, and he was sitting in the end zone, and it was just literally like Phil's afro and the whole field. Like, and that's what the top was.
The line man.
I love it. It was awesome.
I love it. James, it is a pleasure as always. Thank you for all the work that you do covering all things NFL for us across the league. Certainly a valued member of our team here at Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan, and we will catch up with you again next week.
You hear that, Phil? Valued member.
Valued member.
The one and only.
The one and only. Like
Palmer,
the
baby.
Ohio State. It is the James Palmer.
We're so hot right now.
Yeah,
guys. We are red hot.
Love it, James. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, boys. Take it easy.
All right, coming up next. It's been a pretty tame show, I think, so far, Phil. But we got some word from Coach Prime out of Boulder about some potential changes, or maybe not, but one way or the other, I already know you and I are going to fight about it. That's next.
Is Sean Payton asking too much from his sophomore quarterback?
I think there's so much pressure on the quarterback from the coach to be perfect and to be perfect right now. And then he's inaccurate. He's throwing interceptions. There's that unnecessary pressure from a coach who's not putting his quarterback in a position to succeed by running the freaking football.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Broncos country, as you already know, the temperatures are starting to drop, the game day energy is heating up, and you can feel the crunch of the leaves under your shoes, the chill of the air, and the sound of that crowd echoing through Mile High City. Football season is in full swing, so whether you're bundling up to cheer on the Broncos at Empower Field or heading to Boulder to cheer on Coach Prime and the Buffs, make sure you get there on time and in style. Leave the traffic and icy parking lots to someone else, because Hermes Worldwide has you covered with their luxury rides that keep you warm, comfortable, and stress-free all the way to kickoff. And also, when you deal with Hermes Worldwide, they offer championship-level transportation. Picture this. You and your crew rolling up to the stadium in a sleek, heated vehicle, no parking hassles, no driving worries, just a professional driver ready to get you to and from the game safely. All I need you to do is give them a call today at 303-577-7600 or visit ridehermes.com/DenverSports. Again, give them a call at 303-577-7600 or visit ridehermes.com/DenverSports to book your next ride today.
The right financial strategies can make a huge difference, especially if you're nearing retirement. Adam Mueller talks retirement strategies with Mile High Money. Saturday mornings at 8 on Denver Sports 104.3, The Fan.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown. I think I'm some kind of football prophet.
Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay, I have to tell you. I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the...
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your...
windshield wipers. eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying... just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Hey, it's Mike Evans with Todd Whalen from Advanced Tax Solutions. Well, Todd, with the IRS away during this government shutdown, awesome opportunity for people to take care of their IRS problems.
Yeah, I know it's a little bit counterintuitive, but if you think about it, there's nobody trying to get a solution right now. So if you're thinking like an offer and compromise, now's the time to get it done. If you wait until the hordes show back up and the IRS is super aggressive, you've waited too long. If you owe the IRS money, this is the perfect time to submit an offer and compromise. It won't get better than this. It really does seem like, wow, hey, who cares? IRS isn't even sending notices. But if you don't want to be at the back of the line, because they are going to open again, and they're going to be aggressive. They need money. So now's the time. Get to the front of the line and get a solution while it's friendly. Don't wait for the fire. Do it now.
With more than 30 years of fighting and winning against the IRS, this is the guy you want in your corner. Todd Whalen, Advanced Tax Solutions. Give them a call today, 303-753-6040.
Hellsberg gifts checked off the list. Now, time for wrapping. Earrings for mom. A gold bracelet to match the rings Danielle wears every day. And for dad, a new watch, because we all know he needs one. All right, this is gonna be a good one.
Our favorite things for your favorite people. Shop in store at Hellsberg.com for up to 50% off.
Hi, I'm Terrell Davis, two-time world champion and Pro Football Hall of Famer. There is nothing more important than your health. That's why I made the smart move to invest in fitness equipment with Fitness Gallery. It's a game changer. I have a true treadmill at home. It's the smoothest and quietest I've ever been on.
Football is here, and Fitness Gallery's fall football sale is your playbook for a winning home gym. Save up to 50% off on select premium equipment. Visit any of our 7 stores from Denver to Fort Collins and score big before the sale ends.
Go, 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 go! Gobble, 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 gobble. Oh, man, I do a terrible turkey impersonation. Hey, everybody, Dan Jacobs from Jacobs Law and 303 Law 4040. Those of you that listen to the Dan Jacobs Show know that I just love the holidays. But I also know these holidays in particular can be really tough on a lot of people, whether it's the government shutdown, inflation, the economy, whatever it is, or some people just have a hard time during the holidays as it is every single year. It's just a hard time of year for them. As always, we want to be here for you. If we can help out with a little bit of that with free food and groceries, we would love to have you any first or third Thursday of the month. Come on out to Eastern Hills Church at Smoky Hill and Arapahoe Road. We're even doing smoked ham and turkey this month in honor of Thanksgiving. So if you need it, anybody, no questions asked. You just pull up and pop the trunk. 4 to 6 p.m., Eastern Hills Community Church, every first and third Thursday, Smoky Hill and Arapahoe Road.
Bonnie from O'Meara Ford has convinced me they really want to earn your business. So talk to me, Bonnie.
Well, O'Meara has over 1,000 vehicles to choose from. Plus, we have the largest service center in the region with 84 service bays. And we've sold 1 million vehicles since 1913. Our friendly staff will treat you right. And when it comes to repairs, our knowledgeable technicians do it right the first time.
There it is. O'Meara saves you time and money, whether you buy new or used. O'MearaFord.com.
Tune into Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, Wednesdays at 9:15 to hear ESPN NFL analyst Dan Orlovsky break down Bo Nix and the Broncos every week during football season. Denver Sports, 104.3 The Fan, DenverSports.com, and the Denver Sports app. It's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports, 104.3 The Fan.
Gotta let that one breathe. Love me some Greta Van Fleet. Bill, as we've grown accustomed to, we got another media availability from Coach Prime up in Boulder after a pretty embarrassing, stinging loss in the 2025 season. And I'm curious to get your thoughts.
Well, which one? We were embarrassed twice.
Right. This is the latest. This is the Arizona embarrassment, not the Utah embarrassment. One of those was on the road. The other was at home.
Yeah, but it's still like this team was supposed to be better than last year's team, and last year's team had a Heisman winner and a really good quarterback in Shedeur Sanders, who ended up going in the 5th round, but has his jersey on the wall. But this team right now is it's in shambles, man.
Maybe it should have been retired. Maybe we gave a lot of crap to the university, to Rick George, to Prime, to Shedeur about getting his jersey retired. But you look at the way the quarterback play has deteriorated.
You're not lying.
Without Shedeur, and Travis was a part of that. They also lost multiple receivers, at the NFL level, and all that. But man, it's just not even close, Phil. It's not. And we can talk about the talent they have at the skill positions. They have better running back talent than maybe they've had in recent years. They've reloaded with some quality receiver talent, but they don't have a guy that can get them the ball. And they don't have an offense as a unit that can overcome the deficiencies that have popped up on the defensive side of the ball because they can't stop a nosebleed.
No,
half of these weeks.
You know what, Richie? Like that to me is shocking, and I really do love what Robert Livingston has done in the past. But right now, when it comes to his defense and the adjustments that are not being made, or maybe they are and they're just not executing, it's bad. It's just bad football all around. Offensively, defensively, special teams-wise, it's bad.
Well, don't worry, Phil, because after the game against Arizona, Coach Prime said he knows what the problem is and he's going to fix it.
I'm not going to say I don't have the answer. I have the answer. I'm trying my best not to say what I want to say, and I'm trying my best not to give everything, but I'm trying to be transparent because you deserve that. You all deserve it. You guys have been truly kind, some of you, most of you, anyway, and I don't get it there about the criticism. I'm telling you, it's on me. Criticize me. I've been criticized when I came out the womb. The doctor didn't even like it. I'm good. So it's on me, but I know what the situation is. I know what the problem is, and I'll fix it.
The doctor didn't even like me coming out. This man, I'm telling you. So then we get to today, right? And we've been talking about it on these airwaves, at DenverSports.com, across all of our social media channels. Every single show or personality on this station has talked about it. the changes they need to make, starting with, most prominently, a change at the offensive coordinator spot to help give this offense new life and maybe move it in a different direction. And Dion was asked today if they're going to make any changes to that staff.
They changed it and you don't know. I don't do stuff and blow the whistles and make major announcements. Hey, I don't do that kind of stuff. I do it and I let you guys still take shots. You don't even know you may be shooting at the wrong target. So some things take place that you may not be privy to.
At what point would they be changes that we do notice, though?
That's up to you to notice it. They may have already happened.
It's up to you, Phil. It's up to me. It's up to us. Coach Prime ain't going to, and he doesn't have to, tell us what's going on up in Boulder. He may have already made changes to the offensive staff, and you just don't know. Do you think that's the case?
Richie, I'm sitting here listening. It's like if there were changes that were made before that ass whooping they took, then they're gonna have to make more changes. But for Coach Prime, it's like all you have to do is just let us know what's going on. Like we know that it's bad. We can see it. We're watching it. It's horrible. It's embarrassing. We know that there has to be changes made to the offense and defense, maybe even the defensive coordinator. So, for you to hide it, there's no reason to hide it. You can't hide this. We know that there needs to be a change with Pat Shurmur. We've been saying that. I've been saying that. So, I'm just frustrated because, we all deserve to know what's going on. We don't want to turn on the game and watch the Buffaloes get that ass handed to them again, and there's 55, 53 points on the board on the road against West Virginia.
Phil, you might be frustrated on it. I'm going to go one step further. I'm out.
Huh?
I'm out on the Coach Prime. I'm out on the Coach Prime experience.
No.
Phil, listen to me.
Look, I think that chair's getting to you a little bit. You're starting to act like Zach.
Enough
Remember
is
what happened
enough.
when Zach
Listen,
said that?
Fine.
He had to apologize.
Fine. And you know what? I would love to have to be in Zach By's position to apologize because it means things turned around. But I'll tell you this, Phil, I don't think they're going to.
So you will apologize when things get turned around?
I'm not afraid of it. Unlike Coach Prime, I'm not afraid of accountability. And I don't have to wordsmith my way around it and say, even the doctor didn't like me when I was a baby.
Hold up now.
When I came out the womb, people was hating on me.
But
no.
the thing is this, he's taking accountability. He said it's on him. What more do you want the man to do? Just I don't know, walk away. He
was brought in
hold up, Richie.
to turn this program around.
Hold up, but you want him to fix it right now. There's no fixing this year. It is what it is.
Phil, sometimes in professional sports or in collegiate sports, sometimes you need to make a change to make a change.
So tell me this. What is going to help the Buffs out from losing 53-17?
Not rolling out the same quarterback, the same offensive coordinator, the same bad product week in and week out.
Richie, they're doing that.
I know.
Juju is going to play.
I know. And in the process, they were potentially flirting because they had to put him in the blowout against Arizona with burning a red shirt. So now Julian Lewis can't even start the remainder of the games this year. He's still got to sit one out.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what he's doing, Phil. He is one of the greatest athletes to ever walk planet Earth. No one's going to take that away from him. And the eyeballs and the money and the attention that he has brought to Boulder and to the University of Colorado as a school, not just a football program, cannot be taken away from him. But when he set foot up in the Flatirons, it came with the expectation.
But that's all these
that
coaches
they
that
were
are being
going
fired.
to be, and they get fired.
Okay,
Phil.
but they're
get
getting
fired.
their opportunities. They're not getting fired after 3 years. How
Yes,
long
they
was
are.
Kelly? How long was Brian Kelly with LSU? 3 years?
2.5, maybe
2.5.
3.
Okay,
Yeah.
but that's LSU. All right,
Hey,
if
Colorado's
this happens,
a big dog
Richie,
now.
Colorado.
They're on national TV every
Colorado
week.
does not have the money to get rid of Coach Prime, get rid of his staff, and then bring in somebody else.
That's why you got the Portal King, Phil. That's why you bring all your Louis luggage. But it ain't Louis, and it hasn't been.
You're
Phil,
not out on Prime. You're frustrated.
I am frustrated.
So I'm trying to help you
I'm
out
over
before
Phil,
you say
they can
something
win
that,
4 games a year.
apologize.
They can win 4 games a year without Coach Prime. They may not have all the eyeballs. They may not have the same amount of money, but they'll probably have more transparency and the same amount of wins for paying a coach less money to get him.
Coach Prime, he needs to take a step back. He needs to put people around him that do know the X's and O's of football.
You think he's going to do that?
He has no choice.
I think he always has a choice.
The choice is either you make some changes or you're not going to be here long enough to see the success.
The only
so
way.
for Coach
Listen,
Prime,
I'm not naive enough.
He needs to do some changing, which he will. Now, for Coach,
I don't think he will.
For Prime, it's like there's no hiding this. So let us know that you made changes and you're letting
There
somebody
is
else
hiding
call
it. He's
plays.
not making players available. He's being evasive in the postgame and the pregame press conferences during the week. He is hiding it. Whether he thinks we don't know about it or not is irrelevant. He's not
all
being
know
transparent about it. Phil, he was brought here to turn the program around. That doesn't just mean bring more eyeballs and more money. It was to return them to being
games
winners.
last year.
You won 9.
Okay, 9 games. Got to a bowl game. You were happy
And you're
about
not
that.
going to win
You were
9.
raving
You
about
may
that,
not
right?
win 9
You
in
was raving-
combined
you was talking about
seasons.
that. You were like, oh, Coach Prime this, Coach Prime that. Now, because they're losing games, and it is bad.
When
and
he's not
no
being
doubt
carried
about
by
it.
his son
No
and a
doubt about
two-way
it.
Heisman Trophy
That's
winner.
it. But anybody that's successful in the NFL, anybody that's successful in college, they have a quarterback. Coach Prime needs to go out there and get a quarterback.
Phil, has Coach Prime delivered on the promises that were
Yes.
made when he set foot on campus?
Yes, he has all
Competing
he
for
has-
championships, competing in the Big 12.
We don't know yet. They could have competed for the Big 12
But they
last year.
didn't. They
Okay.
lost to Kansas.
But it happens.
And then it fell apart from there.
Okay. So what I'm saying
And then you
is,
rebound with a year where you're half as good as you
but
were.
What I'm
maybe.
saying is now, Richie, is if this happens next year, then yes, you can be out on. Well, I'm not going to tell you how.
So
to
I'm
feel,
just a
but
year
you
early?
can- yes, you're a
So
year
I'm just
early.
a year
you
early.
you need to see what he looks like next year.
If I'm only a year early, then I'm probably not wrong.
I'll tell you this.
I'm just
I'll
quicker
tell you
to
this.
it.
You're going to have to apologize.
I hope so. I
You're
hope
gonna have
so.
to apologize.
Nothing would make me happier.
Every time you step foot on these airways, you're gonna have to apologize.
Nothing would make me happier, Phil, but I'm pretty confident that I'm not going to have to, and it bums me out because Colorado
Who do you want to take over the coaching gig now?
I don't know
You're
right
out on
now.
Coach Prime.
I'll
but
tell you what.
But you don't
You
have
know what I want?
You don't have.
I want a real college football head coach.
There's not a coach
I'm not
name
even
that's just gonna walk in here.
I'm not even picky about the
Who?
name. I want somebody
You're
that
not
feels like
picky
they
about the
know.
name.
I feel like I want somebody that knows what they're doing on game day, that can manage a game appropriately, that isn't built on this flash and this sizzle and this evasiveness, and is unwilling to address the problems that are popping up week in and week out, who's overly loyal to an offensive coordinator who hasn't
agree,
cut it at
Richie,
any level.
I agree with you on that. I agree, and this
Enough's
is why
enough.
this is the thing. Coach Prime needs to take that step back, and he really needs to think about what he's going to do for this next year. Because if this happens again, yes, then everybody will probably be out on him.
He deserves credit for bringing a program that was a one-win team and the worst program in the Power 5 at that time back to life. He defibrillated them. The problem is now they're alive, but they barely have a pulse. So we're not moving forward in the direction that we should have been going into year 3 and year 4 of this Coach Prime experience. He's a top 5
We're gonna
paid
see what this
head coach.
this Juju situation.
He's
like,
a
I don't
top
know
paid
why
head coach in
Coach
college
Prime
football.
has been hiding Juju. I don't know why that is. We're fixing to find out what Juju can do.
All right. I'm frustrated.
We're
I'm
all
frustrated.
We all
I'm
wanna
frustrated,
win.
and you know what? I want to acknowledge and give credit to the things that Coach Prime has done. The Colorado Buffaloes are better right now than they were left when Coach Prime got here. But that doesn't mean that it's good enough.
It's not.
That
good
doesn't
enough.
mean that it's good enough.
Nobody's saying it is, Richie. It's just like, hey, let's take one more year.
Nobody knows more about
this year. This year is different. One more year. If it looks like this next year, okay.
Nobody knows
Okay.
more about the pride and tradition of the Colorado Buffaloes than you do, and I have legitimate concerns about whether or not they have been trusted to the right hands. I'm just going to say it. I do. All right. Coming up next, take a deep breath, and then we'll discuss if the Denver Broncos are potentially missing something that every other AFC contender seems to have. That's next.
After a crushing loss on the road to Utah, the Buffs returned home and got blown out by Arizona. With the season pushed to the brink, will Coach Prime turn things over to Julian Lewis? Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
Designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your...
Windshield wipers. eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, You'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th, new Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and autopay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if you're over 50, it's likely you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments have, in most cases, made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. We have 5 offices across the Front Range to serve you.
Things are just better with a partner or a friend. And when it comes to losing weight, Soda Weight Loss makes it easier than ever to let go of the weight for good.
I'd been wanting to lose weight, and I tried on my own. I'd been seeing things for Soda, and so we talked to the nutritionist and loved every bit of it. You know, I couldn't be happier, honestly, with the result.
Join with a partner and only pay for one. Imagine achieving all your weight loss goals together with your partner, and you only pay for one.
I've let go 50 pounds, and I don't have the cravings that I used to have.
I would definitely recommend Soda. It's because it works. I even recommended it to my daughter, and she's on her journey now.
Just go and look at the almost 9,000 Google reviews about Soda Weight Loss. Lose the weight without injections, without medications, without hunger. Get started now at sodaweightloss.com. That's SOTA weightloss.com. Soda is, say it with me, state of the art.
If you don't think doing a quick and free check of your finances is worth it, let me share this recent customer story. Jason and Barbara H. from Denver called us wanting to see if they could save money. Credit was okay, and there was a good amount of debts. Their fear was another lender they went to first, shame on them, told them yes in the beginning and then denied them during the process. When they called us, we not only approved the loan, we saved them $3,900 a month.
What? $3,900 a month?
Yes, this couple just saved $3,900 a month by calling U.S. Mortgages. And best of all, with our lowest rate for life guarantee, if the market improves in the future, even as little as 0.5%, they can redo the loan and increase their savings further without any lender or appraisal fees. You could be our next success story. Call 303-LOW-RATE. That's 303-LOW-RATE or online at usmloan.com.
All loans subject to approval and change. License number 392126.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
This segment on 104.3 The Fans brought to you by Williams Jewelers, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche.
Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
Right now about the conversation we just had, the argument I would say that we just had, where Phil, I'm not afraid to say it. I don't think I'm totally off base, and I will happily accept the accountability that comes with it. I'm growing weary of the Coach Prime experience in Boulder,
and a lot of people are.
And I think that
understandably,
the eyeballs are great. The dollars and cents that have come in as a result of it are great, but I don't have faith or confidence that the Colorado Buffaloes are going to be legitimate Big 12 and college football playoff contenders with Coach Prime at the helm as things are currently constructed. I just don't see it. I could be wrong. Things could change. Maybe Julian Lewis is the savior that fixes all of that, and maybe somebody else besides Pat Shurmur running the offense, things look different. I'm just telling you,
it's one more year, Richie.
I have a serious lack of faith in it, and when we get press conferences the way that we've gotten today, and we've gotten after some of the bad losses, as they lost 4 of their last 5, where it just feels like there's this deceptiveness, there's this almost throw it back in your face nature of like, well, maybe I did make a change and you just don't know. And I don't have to tell you. When it's like,
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, the media is there to help inform the general public, the fan base, etc., about what's going on, and it's you have a responsibility.
Well, and that's why we are taking
for
shots.
Transparency.
We don't know who to take a shot at or talk about because Prime won't tell us. So it's like, okay, so when we go out there and we're assuming or speculating, don't be mad at us because you're not telling us. You're not telling us what's really going on, and it's an easy, hey, we're making a change at the offensive coordinator position. We're making a change at the defensive coordinator position. You know, we know you're making a change with Juju, which took you the whole year.
You don't have to unveil state secrets either. Just general transparency. Hey, we're having conversations internally about things that need to get better, and we'll make whatever changes we deem necessary to help get this team and this offense and this program back on track the way we believe it can be. Regardless, Phil, I think as we shift gears back to the Denver Broncos, who are a hot subject of conversation today because of the NFL trade deadline, I am questioning whether or not the Denver Broncos might be missing something that almost all of their AFC contenders that they are a part of in terms of that group have in common. And what they all seem to have in common is a legitimate, bona fide producer and playmaker at tight end. You look at the 7-2 Indianapolis Colts with Tyler Warren, over 500 yards and 3 touchdowns, 42 receptions. Hunter Henry with the New England Patriots, just under 400 yards and 4 touchdowns through 9 weeks. Pittsburgh Steelers with Pat Freiermuth, 3 touchdowns on the year, not necessarily super impressive in terms of yardage, but we know and we've seen a body of work from Pat Freiermuth, and I think with that offense with Aaron Rodgers, they're unlocking some potential that's been lacking with recent quarterbacks in Steelers past. You could argue the Buffalo Bills, in my opinion, Phil, have 2 with Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox. About 550 yards and 5 touchdowns between them. The Chargers with the emergence of Orandre Gadsden as their passing game has had to evolve with the injuries at their bookends at tackle, has kind of shot out of a cannon at the tight end position, and that's somebody that the Broncos are going to have to face once again coming up on the back half of this season. And then, of course, Travis Kelce, 41 catches, 540 yards, and 3 touchdowns for a Chiefs offense that is figuring it out. My question to you, Phil, is do you feel that Evan Ingram, as a playmaker and a receiving weapon who happens to play the tight end position, even though he's kind of a pseudo wide receiver, is on par with those other contenders and the tight ends that they have? Because I think that is going to be a position that helps separate the men from the boys in the postseason of the AFC, and it happens to be a position that the Broncos struggle to cover.
Yeah, no, you're right, Richie. We are struggling at the tight end position, but that's not necessarily because of Evan Ingram himself. that has to do with also Sean Payton not getting him involved. That has to also do with Bo Nix not setting his feet, stepping into his throw, and making an accurate pass when you have an open tight end for a touchdown. For Evan Ingram, he needs to continue to do his job. He needs to do a better job of blocking so that when he steps foot on that football field, the defensive attendants don't go up saying, okay, it's a pass to Evan Ingram. So for Evan Ingram, he needs to continue to work on his game so he can stay on that field longer. But he needs help, right? It takes a village to have success. So for Evan Ingram, he needs Bo Nix to hit him when he's wide open. He needs someone like Sean Payton, the guru when it comes to offensive coordinator, to scheme up plays to get him open like he has in the past. And he needs to be on the football field longer than someone like Lucas Kroll and Adam Trotman. So I do believe that we do have a tight end. Everybody was excited about Evan Ingram before the season started because he was that joker. And yet Sean isn't utilizing him and using him like a joker. I want to see that. I want to see whether Evan Ingram can do it or not. Let's scheme up plays for Evan Ingram more times than not. Let's have Evan Ingram be the number one read in a progression. Even when Evan Ingram scored that touchdown against the Philadelphia Eagles, he was the third read in that progression where it was like two receivers and then, okay, Evan Ingram's wide open. How about him being the number one target in a couple plays where it's like, hey, I'm going to you, get open?
I don't disagree with that, Phil, and I do think there is a Bo Nix accountability element to this because for Tyler Warren to have 42 receptions, 3 touchdowns over 500 yards, Travis Kelce with his production, Dawson Knox and Dalton Gate, they've got to have a quarterback that's in sync and in rhythm with them and connecting on plays when it matters. I watched Evan Ingram tear it up in training camp. A rare bright spot a lot of times for the offense. And I remember just standing there next to you and Zach and James Palmer and everybody from our staff that was out there going, this is going to work. This Evan Ingram thing, he is going to eat
we were excited.
over the middle of the field. It was there. You could see it. And it just hasn't translated. And I don't think that's all Evan Ingram's fault. So if I'm going to answer my own question that I posed to you, I do think from a talent perspective, the Broncos have a tight end that can produce on par with a lot of those names. But up through the first half of the season, and something that I think has to change on the back half of the season, is the chemistry and the connection with Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Whether that's moving him up the depth chart or the priority chart in terms of reads within the progressions, or it's just the two of them being more on the same page and making more of a concerted effort to get Evan Ingram the football. That's got to happen on the back half of the season that it didn't happen on the front half if the Broncos are going to, I think, maintain their contender status.
Every team that gets to the Super Bowl or close to it has a running game and has a tight end that they can lean on. And I've said it multiple times in the past. All right, you have the Bills and everybody you just got done listing. You have the Ravens that have 2 tight ends. Like, you need a tight end that can help take pressure off the receivers and the quarterback by just dumping the ball down. We need to utilize Evan Ingram a lot more because he is open at times, and yet we're still not hitting on him. We need to scheme up plays to get him more involved because he's our joker, remember? We need him, whether people like it or not. We have to go with Evan Ingram, and Evan Ingram has to start getting into some type of rhythm. But you know what's going to help that out? Let's run the ball. How about we start with that? Because then it's going to open up the pass game, and it's going to open up the play action. And usually when you run play action, you want to hit your tight end across the field because he's the first read or the first guy that the quarterback sees when he does a play action pass.
Yeah, listen, I think that Evan Ingram operating primarily in the middle of the field as that receiving threat, that inside inline receiver or tight end, whatever you want to call it, is not traditionally been Bo Nix's strong suit in terms of areas of the field to throw. He loves to uncork one and take a deep shot. He definitely zeroes in on Courtland Sutton, especially in critical situations, which I'm not even necessarily hating on because Courtland Sutton has been that receiver for every quarterback that's played for the Denver Broncos since 2018, and it's worked more often than it hasn't. I just think that Sean Payton is scheming opportunities. You saw it multiple times against the Texans.
Yeah.
Where Evan Ingram and other members of this offense are open and the opportunities are there. And just like Troy Franklin and Bo Nix last season, where it just felt like we were fingertips away, you saw it 3 consecutive times, not consecutive, but 3 separate times in the Chargers game this season where Bo Nix just missed a wide open guy that would have put that game on ice. The opportunities are there and they're not connecting on it. Evan Ingram, maybe he's not getting as open in certain situations as he could, but Bo Nix certainly has missed opportunities to connect with a guy like Ingram, and I think that the offense's struggles, the way that they have kind of manifested over the first half of the season, the tight end position and unlocking that production from a guy like Evan Ingram, and maybe even secondarily as a weapon in the passing game like an RJ Harvey, who's kind of emerged more and more as a receiving running back, unlocking those extra pieces are going to be massively important for this Broncos offense to elevate beyond weeks 1 through 9.
Yeah, and it starts with just getting on the same page, getting in some type of rhythm, talking with each other, communicating, and for Sean, just to scheme up more plays. Sean's doing his job by scheming up plays, but he needs Bo to now execute. It's all about execution.
It's all about execution. All right, coming up next, are the Denver Broncos once again in a position where they may be walking into a tripwire in the 2025 season? Plus, with the NFL trade deadline come and gone, the Broncos standing pat, how do we feel about the current question marks on the roster? All of that as we are on the doorstep of 28 consecutive minutes of commercial-free radio. It's longer than that, but I suck at math. That's next.
After another fourth quarter comeback, has Bo Nix proven that he has the it factor?
I'm confident Bo's going to continue to get better. This offense is going to continue to get better, and you're going to see more complete 60-minute efforts from this offense. But you know what? It is so good to know right away that we have a quarterback here who seems to have the clutch gene.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
What's up, everybody? Phillip Lindsay here, and I want to tell you about my new obsession, and that's with Daisy's French Onion Dip. One of my guilty pleasures during football season is sitting back, relaxing, eating dips with chips, wings, and veggies while watching any big-time game. And now that Daisy's has come out with a delicious Daisy French Onion Dip, along with a Daisy Ranch Dip, these are definitely game changers that you're going to want to try out. And I'm here to tell you they're as delicious as a homemade dip, and they're made with real herbs and spices and other ingredients that you can find in your own kitchen. So if you want to be blown away like I was, then you need to give Daisy's French Onion Dip a try today. You can find Daisy's French Onion Dip at a grocery store near you.
Heads up, pros. Now's your chance to unlock deeper savings. The Home Depot's new Pro Extra Preferred pricing can help you save thousands on the products your business uses the most. But the current benefit ends November 15th. Don't miss out. Registration for the new program is free and easy. Just bring your tax ID or business or contractor's license to the Pro Desk. Register now to lock in the best wholesale prices before it's too late.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Is lower, your workouts aren't as productive, perhaps you aren't sleeping as well and feel foggy all the time, maybe even your sex drive is off. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if you're experiencing some or all of these symptoms, it's likely you have low testosterone. And if that's what's going on with you, don't wait. You need to call us at Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic and get treated for your low T, because living with low testosterone is no way to live. With our low T treatments, if you're like most guys, your life will change considerably. Improved sleep, better energy, greater gains in the gym, better mental clarity, and your sex drive will likely improve as well. Plus, most men see these results in just a few weeks. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. We have 5 offices across the Front Range to serve you.
Cake Mortgage Corp. Equal Housing Lender. NMLS number 1734623. Licensed in Colorado by the Division of Real Estate. Terms and conditions apply. Are you a first-time home buyer? Are you trying to lower your existing mortgage payment? Do you need cash from your equity? For most people, getting a mortgage means endless paperwork and weeks of anxiety. But with Cake Mortgage, our process is simple, fast, and hassle-free. Whether you're purchasing, refinancing, or looking to tap your home's equity, our team guides you step by step so you always know what's next. Our thousands of 5-star customer reviews will tell you no one can do what Cake can. So stop stressing and start saving fast with Cake. Your fresh-baked cake home mortgage is ready to enjoy. So don't wait. Call 720-850-0012. That's 720-850-0012. Or visit cakehome.com. To learn more now.
The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
Get ready for every Broncos game with Super Bowl 50 champion Brandon Marshall as he joins The Drive every Friday afternoon at 4:45 exclusively on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Thanks to Corwin Toyota Boulder. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. DenverSports.com and the Denver Sports app. You're listening to The Drive.
Week about almost exactly 48 hours from now, like 49 or so.
Tell you what, Rich, I
from
don't
right now.
miss that. I don't miss.
You don't miss those quick turnarounds?
Man, they suck. All right, especially if you just got done playing a physical game on the road, and let's just say the running back gets 15 to 20 carries. We know J.K. Sean doesn't want him to get that. So let's just say a running back gets 15 to 20 carries. Your body's already achy. It usually takes you a full week to recover. Now you're telling the human body that it has to recover at a rapid pace just to go back out there and get banged up again. So when you're going into this game, one, you're not going to have a lot of practice. You're just going to be in shorts and a helmet.
Which they were today.
Yeah, walk through, maybe a couple jog through reps. And then two, you have to find a way to really get your body going so that on Thursday you're ready to roll. And a lot of times you're taking a couple of little medicines here or there and numb you up a little bit. There's a ways around it, but it's not good for the body. Mentally, this is where you have to rely on your veterans and a team that has really good players or that has a game plan that's like, hey, we can run basic plays and still beat a team.
We had this conversation, Phil, before the New York Jets game in London at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And the question we asked was, are the Denver Broncos potentially headed for a trap game? Is there a tripwire waiting for them on Thursday night? In the case of the Jets, they were a winless team at the time that they played the Broncos, and they were pretty bad by basically every metric. Justin Fields was one of the worst productive quarterbacks in the NFL. The defense wasn't able to stop anybody of any kind of significant measure. And the Broncos offense, even though it was sputtering, looked like it had an opportunity for a get-right game, right? This is like they had against the Cowboys, as it turned out a few weeks later. Didn't turn out that way against the Jets. They needed a come-from-behind win and a game-winning field goal from Will Lutz to avoid giving the Jets their first win. And I remember going into that game, Phil, I said, weird things happen in London games.
Maybe in the Ritchie household.
Maybe. Weird things happen in my household, in the London games, and on Thursday Night Football.
The basement, huh?
Right? Because it throws off your whole routine. You're going overseas, whether it's London or Brazil or Spain or Mexico City, whatever. Germany.
Yeah.
It throws off your body clock. It throws off your preparation. You got to leave earlier. You've got to adjust all these things. And that's why I think we see in these international games kind of fluky performances, whether it's a team that's a heavy underdog, either keeping it close or outright winning, things that are going right, teams that are clicking on all cylinders, suddenly sputter. It just throws you off. And I think Thursday Night Football, because of the truncated nature of the week of preparation coming off a Sunday game, has kind of a similar effect. And I think that's kind of what you're alluding to when you're talking about players' bodies being banged up. You don't have the recovery time.
You got to be in it, Richie. You got to be in it knowing that, hey, you're getting ready to go back at it. But this is why it's so important to have a run game. This is why it's so important to have someone like J.K. Dobbins who's averaging 5 yards a carry. So now you can just lean on the run game because everybody is banged up. They don't want to be out there. They are feeling sorry for themselves. If you're the Raiders, you know you're not going to the playoffs this year. So you're just out there to collect a check. So now for the Denver Broncos, it's like, hey, let's go. Let's be physical. This is our time. We have some momentum. We're 7-2. We have a run game. We have an offensive line that we paid a lot of money for. This is when you rely on the run game. It's on the Thursday Night Football games when everybody's banged up and you don't have a lot of time to put a game plan together.
You have a good Broncos team, tied for the best record in the NFL at 7-2, and certainly one of the contenders as it currently stands at the midway point in the AFC. Going up against a Raiders team who shares a division with the Broncos, but pretty objectively by every metric is just a worse football team. It's exactly how we looked at the Jets. They were terrible. Now, they ran the ball well, did the Jets. And I don't even think the Raiders have that kind of redeeming quality. I guess if you could say, even if it doesn't show up statistically, Brock Bowers, now that he's healthy and firing on all cylinders, scoring 3 touchdowns last week, that's going to be a problem that the Broncos are going to have to face that you could say is on par with Breece Hall and what the rushing attack for the Jets was. But, Phil, the Broncos are 7-2, the Raiders are 2-6. In terms of scoring offense, the Broncos are 14th, the Raiders are 29th out of 32 teams. The Broncos have a top 10 passing offense, the Raiders 21st. Top 10 rushing offense, Raiders 16th. Defensively, it's another mirror image. Total defense, Denver's 3rd in the NFL, Vegas 21st. Rushing defense, top 10 for the Broncos, 16th for the Raiders. And the passing defense follows a similar pattern.
Yeah.
So by every metric in letter of the law, this should be a win for the Broncos, and in some aspects, maybe a win going away despite the sputtering nature that we've seen from the Broncos offense. Is there any part of you, Phil, that worries that a quarter and a half into that game or at halftime leading into the second half, we're going to be feeling like we did against the Jets in London?
It's possible. Any given Sunday, you're still playing against grown men that are fighting for their jobs. A lot of them out there know that, hey, I have to play well to put some film up on that screen so that when I'm done here, although the Raiders and me being a part of the Raiders didn't go well, somebody else would pick me up and give me a chance. So you're always out there fighting for your livelihood. So it could happen. But for the Denver Broncos, I don't believe this is a trap game. The only way you're in trap games is if your whole units, offensively, defensively, and special teams, are all firing on all cylinders, right? When everybody's doing their part. Well, here's the thing with the Denver Broncos. Their special team unit sucks right now.
Yep.
Offensively, they're not good. So they know that this is the time for them to get right. They know that they need to start doing their part so that we can win more games, or the Denver Broncos can win more games. So there's no trap game on a Thursday night when you know you have to go out there and execute. Bo Nix wants to kind of lay this to rest of, like, I can be this franchise quarterback because he plays great in the fourth quarter, but the other 3 quarters, he's just kind of there existing. So this is more of a everybody focus in, lock in. We have a chance to go 8-2. We have a chance to do something that hasn't been done in a very long time. And for the offense, in special teams, you have a chance to start getting better now.
I tend to agree with you, Phil, that I don't think this Thursday night game is a quote-unquote trap game for the Broncos. Well, I will say, Sean Payton has a losing record on Thursday Night Football as head coach of the Denver Broncos, and part of that's his own fault because he flexed the Broncos into a second road Thursday night game.
Don't get me started on
when
that
he didn't
one,
have to against the Chargers. So he's a little bit of fulfilling his own demise there. But I don't think this is a trap game for the Denver Broncos for some of the same reasons I didn't think the Jets game was, and that is because what I believed at that time leading into the London game is similar to what I believe now, which is that the Broncos are a talented team, but especially offensively, they are a wildly inconsistent team, and therefore, despite how good their defense is, I think the Denver Broncos possess the capability to lose to almost anyone in the NFL on any given Sunday, because anything can happen in the NFL. These are all grown men that get paid a lot of money, and all of them were some of the best players to ever come out of their high schools, colleges,
what you
states,
saying,
etc.
Richie? Are you saying you're a little nervous going into this Thursday night football game?
I wouldn't say I'm as nervous as I've been in recent weeks watching this Broncos offense. I'm as nervous as I was watching them play the Giants, who I thought they should beat with a rookie quarterback in Jackson Dart and a rookie running back in Cam Scatterbo, and a team that didn't look like it had as much life going into the first month of the season as it has now. Now they've had some injuries to Scatterbo and whatever. But I'm as nervous about this game against the Raiders as I was watching them go into the fourth quarter of that game down 19-0. You know what I mean? I'm nervous because I believe and I've seen what this offense is capable of, evidenced by the Cowboys game when they were basically playing against air and they scored 44 points. And I've seen what Bo Nix has been able to do with that clutch gene factor, that it factor, confidence and swagger, where he's not phased in the fourth quarter and the offense gets a little bit more loose. Bo uses his legs. But I also believe that the Broncos have been playing with fire, and I'm just not 100% sure how many more matches they have left to strike before they get burned.
I agree with you on that. Like at some point,
the defense has had to carry way more of a load than they should have for good chunks of this season.
But Richie, now is not the time. This Thursday night game against the Raiders is not the time. One, the Raiders have to come to us. And we've been a powerhouse when it comes to playing home games. Two, Bo Nix understands that if I just set my feet, if I just execute what Sean has for me, we're scoring touchdowns. And it's always, as a player, you're excited for that opportunity to go back out there. When you didn't do well, you can't wait to be back out there. And so this offense knows, like, hey, we can be better than what we're doing or what we're showing out there. We get another chance right away where we don't have to think about it. We don't have to go a full week of game planning. All we do is show up, and we go out there and we play. We know that there's not going to be a huge game plan, but it's the basics now. It's about winning your one-on-one matchups. It's about someone like J.K. Dobbins getting the ball more than 14 or 15 times, which I do believe we're going to see J.K. get the ball 20 times. He's well rested. You want to rely on that run game. So, like, I'm ready to see an offense explode. I think that we do see an offense explode against a bad Raiders team that's kind of waiting for somebody to just kick them in the you-know-what. They're just waiting. They're there to collect a check. Now, yes, if you let them stay in this game, get a little hope, they could win this game. But the Denver Broncos are 7-2 for a reason.
Yep.
Because they're a really good football team, and their offense has been mediocre. Now it's time for the offense and the special teams to get right.
They are 7-2 in large part because their defense has performed at an elite level from top to bottom, and the offense has done just enough late in games with 4 fourth-quarter comebacks through 9 games to be able to put them in that position. You don't have to apologize for it, but you should be aware of it. This is KKFN and KKFN HD1, Longmont, Denver. We are coming with it, and we are coming for it. It's Richie Carney and Phillip Lindsay, and we are The Drive.
Woo! Come on, Richie. I'm fired up. You fired up. What?
I am fired up, man. I was mentioning, I was replying back to some of the people in our YouTube chat, and I've seen it on the RamosLaw.com text line. It almost doesn't feel real sometimes when I look at the standings in the AFC and in the NFL, and I look at the Broncos at 7-2, tied for the best record in the NFL halfway through the season.
Oh, it's real. Pinch yourself.
I know how unexpected and how surprised maybe some of us were last season when Bo Nix kind of turned it on after a rough month to start his NFL career and was a legitimate NFL Rookie of the Year candidate over the back half of the season and really got overshadowed by maybe the best rookie tight end season of all time.
Yeah.
And Jaden Daniels going to the NFC Championship game and running on a tear through the regular season in Washington. And that surprise should have made maybe what I'm seeing now a little bit more reasonable or a little bit more believable. But Phil, man, they haven't been in the position they've been in since 2015.
Crazy.
This is foreign territory that the Broncos are in, and it didn't used to be because we in Broncos country have been spoiled by some pretty amazing Broncos teams, offenses, quarterbacks.
Richard, we used to be like the Chiefs, where you were expecting to go to get to the playoffs and always have a chance to win a Super Bowl. That's for the longest. That's what being a Denver Bronco fan was. Like, hey, we know we're going to win 11, 12 games. We know we're going to have a shot at a Super Bowl. And now we're kind of getting back there because of Sean Payton, because of this defense, and hopefully Bo Nix can be the guy that we all believe he can be.
There are so many things to point to that have just erased so much of the angst and the frustration and the hand-wringing and the wanting to put a paper bag over your head like so many in Broncos country have been. They couldn't find a quarterback. They had the revolving door and carousel.
Yeah.
They used to come up on every graphic about how many starting quarterbacks since Manning walked out the door.
I was part of that list.
They don't seem to. You were.
Shout out.
You're the answer to a fantastic trivia question.
Blue 99, Red Weasel.
Yes. They saw you take one snap and they're like, Kendall Hinton, please God.
Fun little thing, man. We get into the huddle and we had the little wristbands. And we had
the Buzz Lightyear?
Yeah, well, no, man. We had 7 or 8 plays. And, it went 1 through 7, and they would just give you the finger 1. And then you just read it off like it's Little League. So I get the play.
Was there any part of you, and obviously I know the answer, but even an intrusive thought, was there any part of you that was like, man, I kind of want to just want audible here and uncork a deep ball.
I want to
just rip it.
I was like, what
just
if
let
I
me
just
roll
throw
out.
It?
Yeah.
I was like, what if I just throw this? Court, get open, 50-50 ball.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's man-to-man. It's
schoolyard.
They're playing cover 0, no safeties. Let's try to do it. But no, man, it was not fun. It was not fun waking up that day, Richie, knowing that you're going to get your ass handed to you by the Saints.
And you go back to that time during that COVID season where the NFL was clearly trying to make an example of the Broncos.
Yeah.
You had the quarterback room where they tampered with their COVID sensors, their wristbands, and there was evidence of it. John Elway was trying to plead to the league to let one of his offensive staff members, quality control assistant,
He was warming up.
Quality control assistant to play quarterback, and the NFL said no, and that was in the midst of the ownership trust debacle. The Broncos were at such a low point on that Sunday.
And I miscommunicated, and I called the wrong play, too, in the huddle.
You did. You had literally a wristband with 1 through 7 on it, and you just had to read the number from the sideline, and you did it wrong.
They say 1, call play 1, and I call play 4.
Phil's like, how many fingers are you holding up?
I'll call play 4.
I don't have my glasses.
Which was a pass.
I was like, you didn't call 4 verts? You didn't? That wasn't, that okay.
The dig route? Come on, the middle of the field, I'm ready.
Yeah, just give me a hitch and go, man. That's a touchdown. It was such a dark day for the Broncos when you think back all those years, back to that COVID era. And you fast forward to now, Phil, and they look like they've got a legitimate potential franchise quarterback in Bo Nix. And it's handpicked by one of the better head coaches in the NFL, an offensive-minded head coach who's had hands in developing multiple successful offenses over a 2-decade-long NFL career. They couldn't run the ball worth a lick last season. And now they've got a top 10 rushing offense and J.K. Dobbins, who they picked up in June and is a top 5 rusher in the NFL on a bargain basement deal.
Crazy.
They have seen significant steps on both sides of the ball from highly touted, highly drafted players that are emerging on the defensive side of the ball. When you look at the pass rushers, you combine that with free agent acquisitions like Zach Allen and Talanoa Hufanga and Dre Greenlaw when he's not arguing with an official. So the reigning defensive player of the year in Patrick Surtain, Riley Moss, White Boy Rick, who's often misunderstood maybe potentially between what your eyes tell you and what the data tells you. On the offensive side of the ball, you got an all-pro wide receiver returner in Marvin Mims. You've got Mr. Consistent Cortland Sutton. You drafted R.J. Harvey, who's coming out of his shell. Continued steps from Pat Bryant and Troy Franklin. And you're having Evan Ingram, who maybe is not getting the opportunity to make the impact that he can because of inconsistencies on offense. So much just looks so much better now than it did then.
You should go ahead and start listing all the special teamers, Rich. You just went through the whole damn roster.
Did I? Well, but think about how much had to get better and how much has. It's legitimate. And because of it, the Broncos are tied for the best record in the NFL, tied atop of the AFC, and the only team ahead of them is the team that beat them, one of the two teams that beat them head-to-head, and it took a leveraging penalty to get to that point.
Well, the Denver Broncos have put themselves in a situation to have a chance. Right? It started last year. We're seeing it this year. They're 7-2. Everything's out in front of them. Defense is playing phenomenal. Special teams needs a lot of work, but at least they have an opportunity to change that. Offensively, we're still winning games, and they're not even an above average offense. So what does that look like when they start to kind of catch up? What does that look like when Bo Nix hits on some of these open targets? What does that look like when Sean decides to stick with the run? Like, the sky is the limit for this team as long as they can stay healthy.
And that's going to be even more important, Phil, to stay healthy and to develop the players that you have on the current 53, because the Broncos stood pat at the trade deadline. They, despite being in the position to be buyers for the first time in a long time at the NFL trade deadline, they chose to do nothing. And we've had conversations over the course of today whether or not that was smart, ill-advised, a good thing, a bad thing. Here is what Sean Payton had to say earlier today about being quiet at Broncos Park, powered by Common Spirit.
I mean, George and I each day talked about different things, and that's just how it turned out.
That's just how it turned out. That's such a Sean answer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But come on, Sean. Give us a little bit more.
We talked about it. We're good. He was also quoted saying, hey, I like the team that we have, and I like the direction that we're going. Do you agree with Sean Payton in that estimate? Do you like the team that they have and the direction that they're going, so much so that you wouldn't have, or you're not stressing as much about the fact that they didn't add anything like a Jalen Waddle or a Breece Hall or an offensive lineman or a tight end, whatever?
Well, so first off, it's fresh, right? It's the first day of the trade deadline. Mm-hmm. It's come and gone, and the Denver Broncos didn't make a move. So I'm reacting to today as a fan. And as a fan, I'm a little upset because when you do look at this team, yes, you're 7-2. Everything's out in front of you. When things are firing on all cylinders, you're a tough team and a hard team to beat. But yet, the only thing that has been consistent has been the defense. Special teams has been awful. Offensively, it has been awful for 3 quarters for the last 4 weeks, pretty much, other than the Dallas Cowboy game, which there's context to it. You guys were playing against practice squad players.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see some action being done in the trade deadline to get another weapon for Bo Nix in this offense, to maybe spark it, to kind of get it going again because it's stagnant. So for Sean to sit there and say, like, hey, like, we're good where we're at, yeah, I understand that you guys are 7-2. Yes, yeah, it's fine. We're going to be just fine. But why not add weapons? Why not add more? You have a chance to do something that hasn't been done here in a long time, since 2015, and that's try to get to a Super Bowl. When there's a guy out there, there's 2 or 3 receivers, because I'm thinking of a receiver, 2 or 3 receivers out there that you can give a draft pick for and help this team right now, because I'm all about the now. And Sean seems to be all about the now too, usually, because you're in the trenches. You're looking to find how you can win right now, how you can have Bo Nix have more success right now. And that would have been adding another weapon so that Bo Nix can throw to him for some deep balls.
The Raiders, who the Broncos will face about 48 hours or so from now, traded Jacoby Myers to the Jags for a 4th and a 5th round pick. The Saints traded Rashid Shaheed, who you were very high on and very interested in seeing the Broncos try to acquire. Well, he goes to Seattle for a 4th and a 5th round pick. Former Bronco Draymond Jones was on the move
to the Ravens.
How about the Jets trading Sauce Gardner to the Indianapolis Colts, who again are tied with the Broncos atop the AFC at 7-2 for 2 first-round picks and a wide receiver, but 2 first-round picks in the next 2 years, clearly signaling how the Colts feel now that they have moved on from Anthony Richardson. They are embracing Indiana Daniel Jones.
Yep.
And they feel like, just like the Broncos probably do, or at least Sean Payton said they do going into the season, that they're in a Super Bowl window. But I agree with you, the biggest position that it felt like there was traction or movement involving the Denver Broncos was at the wide receiver position. Here was Sean Payton on the rumors they'd be interested in adding to the wideout room.
Yeah, I saw a lot of that. We've invested in, we like this group and where we're going.
We like this group and where we're going. Payton followed up with answering whether or not they were close on any trades before the deadline.
No. I think we discussed a few things, but all good.
So they like the room.
Do you believe him?
Well, it depends on how you define close, right? What was close? Like they had agreed on a framework, and it was like, okay, hey, we're willing to give you this pick that you asked for, but instead of a third, we want to give you a fifth as well. Like it's a first and a third, or a second and a fifth. I don't think they were that close. I believe James Palmer, and I believe some of the other insiders who come on our airwaves and basically said the Broncos are shopping, they're interested, and they're looking, but the sellers in this trade market were setting way too high of prices for the Broncos to feel like they need to bite and overpay halfway through the season.
Does the price matter if you know that you have a great chance of winning a Super Bowl if you add one more piece?
It's a great question. Clearly, the Indianapolis Colts said no.
But I'm asking you, like, hey, would you have been upset if the Denver Broncos would have gave a first-round draft pick up for Waddle? A young player that's already being paid a lot of money, so you're not going to have to worry about him. A young player that has elite speed and can take it to the house, not just by burning somebody and having that separation, but breaking tackles and maybe even taking a screen, getting a 1-yard screen and taking it for a 50, 60-yard touchdown. Is there a price on that?
Dante, you had something you might want to add to this discussion?
I do, and either of you guys can go for this. What do you think adding Jalen Waddle, how would that impact the chances of the Broncos winning a Super Bowl when it comes to maybe like the gambling odds, your personal odds, anything like that?
I'll answer Phil's question, and then you can answer Dante's. Phil, my question, your question about would I have been mad if the Broncos gave up a first-round pick and X for Jalen Waddle, which is what James Palmer was speculating that was the price that the Broncos are being faced with, as well as other teams. I don't think I would have been upset or disagreed with the principle of bringing it in, because it's a mentality thing. It's, hey, we're close. We believe we can do it this year, and we are not going to rest on our heels or risk potential depth issues due to injuries on the back half. But a first-round pick and is pretty steep. I like Jalen Waddle. I think he's probably underserviced in that Miami offense, which with Tua is just a dumpster fire with him and Mike McDaniel. He would have walked into this building tomorrow and been the second leading receiver on the team, and it would have been a tight race with Courtland Sutton to be the best receiver on the team statistically
Receiver one.
right away. And you could argue from a talent perspective and an age perspective, maybe there's more upside with a Waddle than there is left with a Sutton. I don't know that I'm going to make that argument, but I think you could. I wouldn't have been upset by the move, because it would have shown me, hey, okay, the Broncos are putting it on the table. They want to win this year, and they're not going to let any if, ands, or what ifs get in their way. But it would have been nervous about that compensation to say, oh, they better get it done, because it's going to suck in April of 2026 when we got no first-round pick, and they ended up losing in the first round anyways.
No doubt. And so, Dante, what was the question again?
How would the addition of Waddle impacted the Broncos' chances to win the Super Bowl in your estimation, or how do you think it would have impacted like the gambling odds of them winning? Do you think it moves?
It would have moved big time, because now you have two receiver ones. Now you have more options for Bo Nix. Now you're opening up that playbook, because you already have a really good run game. You end up adding a true receiver one, or two receiver ones that one can stretch the football field and has the speed, but also can catch the ball down the middle of the field and break tackles. Like, that opens up that playbook, and then it opens up the pass game even for your tight end. So, like, to me, like, you add a Waddle, which is like the missing piece. It's because now, think about it. If Courtland Sutton goes down, who do you rely on? Is there another receiver on our team that we can say confidently that he can be the guy? We don't have that. If something happens to Court, but you had Waddle, now it's like, hey, he's the guy. And yet you can still get Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims, and Pat Bryant involved. It just gives you more leeway to be explosive and maybe just jumpstart this offense.
Here's what I will say, though, and why it's a little bit of a double-edged sword. Because I think I view it to a certain degree. It sounds like you do too, Phil, and I'm sure plenty in Broncos country feel similarly. There's kind of a weird balance here between if you're assigning blame or trying to dissect the problems for the Broncos offense, especially in quarters 1 through 3, through 9 games this season. There's kind of a mixed bag between, is Sean Payton scheming up consistently the open guys, and it's not like a Riley Moss situation where, when he loses or when he gets beat bad, but it's less than people might think because of your eyes are deceiving you? Or is it more of a Bo Nix problem, and Bo Nix already isn't hitting the open receivers consistently that we have?
Yeah.
And if it's the former, then giving Sean Payton another tool in the toolbox and a dynamic receiver like Jalen Waddle who can make plays, run a full route tree over the middle of the field as a deep threat, and at 26 years old has plenty of runway in front of him, would be a good thing. But if you believe it's more the latter, and it's Bo Nix not hitting the wide receivers that this team already has open, and that's contributing to the clunkiness, then adding a Jalen Waddle, in theory, wouldn't move the needle all that much because it's an execution error, not a scheme error.
No doubt. There is some execution problems. Like, that's a fact. You watch the games, Bo Nix is overthrowing receivers. He's not hitting on open targeted targets.
Mm-hmm.
Even like Evan Ingram, who's 6'3", 6'4", and he's wide open for a touchdown, you're overthrowing him or throwing the ball too high. But I will say this, speed kills in this league. And when you do get that separation and you have the speed to catch up to a football, that matters. Courtland Sutton doesn't have the speed to catch up to a football once it's in the air. You kind of have to have it there. But Waddle, he can catch up to a football. That's just what they do. That's what Tyreek Hill, why he was so explosive. That's why he was so elite. One, he's the fastest man at the time in NFL, but you have a strong arm quarterback in Patrick Mahomes just letting it rip because you know you can trust your receiver to get up under the ball. That's what someone like Waddle would have done.
And you look at that Miami Dolphins offense, when they had Tyreek Hill healthy and running, opposite a guy like Jalen Waddle, they were as formidable as a receiving duo as any in the NFL. I mean, you're talking Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, you're talking obviously Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. You know, you want to throw Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison in there as well. The Dolphins had that kind of explosive playmaking ability. In fact, that was one of the big selling points to bring in a guy like Capri Pants, Mike McDaniel, because he was going to be able to unlock the downfield deep threat capability of that offense and utilize Tua's athleticism. It just hasn't materialized. And I do think that the evaluation of a Jalen Waddle is tainted by the fact that that offense is just broken in Miami. And it's not to say that it wouldn't have its struggles and its issues here, because let's be real also and say there's a lot of things about this Broncos offense that feel like they should be more automatic in year two with Bo Nix that in some ways feel more forced and more of a struggle.
No doubt.
It does
Bo needs to do better.
It feels like this offense, and it's not all on Bo in this case, but it does feel like this offense from a blocking, a backfield, a skill position outside with the wide receivers, and a quarterback position do sometimes struggle to do the easy things. And it makes it feel like they've really got to work to do things that should be more automatic. And I don't know that Jalen Waddle fixes that, or more likely just kind of becomes another cog in the wheel that potentially gets jammed.
Well, you know what, Richie? We'll never know. We'll never know. And Sean, we trust. You are right. A lot of this becomes an execution problem. There are receivers that are running wide open for touchdowns. Bo Nix has to set his feet, step into the throw, be accurate with the football. But now this is who we have to rely on from the start. So let's go. Troy Franklin, all right, Marvin Mims, Pat Bryant, they're going to have to step up. Bo Nix, he's going to have to step up. Evan Ingram, he's going to have to be a little bit more vocal, be aggressive, get the separation, and demand the football. Because this offense has to start rolling, and it starts Thursday night against the Raiders. This can be a get-right game if you have that right mentality, that right mindset going into it and execute what Sean has in store for the Denver Broncos offense.
In the vein of In Sean We Trust, let's Bo, every single player that you just mentioned there and what they need to do on the back nine compared to the front nine is just go out there and execute exactly what the hell they were brought in to do in the first place. You're not asking anybody to do anything above and beyond exactly what they were brought here to do. And I think that is an encouraging sign when you're talking about what a team has to do on the back half versus the front half if they want to maintain contending status in the AFC. All right, we're going to put a pause button on trade deadline talk for a brief moment because the Denver Nuggets have found a way to accomplish something almost as many times in 6 games as they did all season last year, and I have a feeling we haven't even seen the best yet. That's next.
This Veterans Day, Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan needs your help as we look to give back to those who have served their country. Teaming up with Foundation Cadillac, Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan is giving away 1 year of free oil changes to one of our state's many veterans. To nominate a current or former service member, head to DenverSports.com/veteran. That's DenverSports.com/veteran. To all our nation's veterans, we at Denver Sports 1043 The Fan thank you for your service. Denver Sports 1043 The Fan.
All my gentlemen out there, what's going on? Did you know that intimacy is a special moment when we feel deeply connected to the ones we love? Of course you do. Truly, guys, there's only a few experiences out there that are as wonderful as these. And I'm here to tell you that if you want to kind of reconnect with your special someone, then you need to head on down to Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic because they're proud of the work they do in treating erectile dysfunction to restore intimacy for patients. How many guys out there have a mediocre sex life? Is it just good enough or could it be really good? Nah, better yet, could it be great? Because all you guys out there deserves to have great sex. Maybe the pills and herbals are just working okay, but I'm telling you they could work better for you. With my friends at Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, their treatments work when the pills and herbals fail you. They have treatments with success rates well over 90%, and some of these treatments can have you last an hour or even more. So schedule a consult with Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic today. Your initial visit is only $99. This will include a medical consult with a Colorado licensed medical provider, a TMPSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. And here's the kicker, gentlemen. If the test dose does not work in the office, the visit is absolutely free. They also have 5 locations out there to serve you, so there are no excuses. You could go to Fort Collins, North Denver, Central Denver, Castle Rock, and Colorado Springs. So give them a call today at 720-440-7900 or visit RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. That's RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Hellsberg Gifts checked off the list. Now, time for wrapping. Earrings for mom. A gold bracelet to match the rings Danielle wears every day. And for dad, a new watch, because we all know he needs one. All right, this is gonna be a good one.
Our favorite things for your favorite people. Shop in store at Hellsberg.com for up to 50% off.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach here. Thinking about buying a home in Colorado? You're not the only one, and now might be your best shot. We're officially in a buyer's market, which means you've got the upper hand. More homes are on the market, competition is down, and serious deals are out there just waiting to be found. Whether you're a first-time buyer or looking to upgrade or downsize, now's the time to get pre-approved. And American Financing can make it happen in 24 hours or less. Interest rates are competitive, and home prices have been stable. That means you can find a great deal while locking in a monthly payment that fits your budget. Plus, with home equity building over time, your investment grows, making home ownership a smart, long-term financial decision. If you continue to pay rent, you're just paying your landlord's mortgage, and you don't need 20% down. You could be in your new home with as little as 3% down. Plus, they're offering down payment assistance programs to make home ownership even easier. Call American Financing at 303-695-7000 or visit them online at AmericanFinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
The wait is over. AC/DC's back live. Power Up Tour, July 28th. Empower Field at Mile High. Tickets on sale Friday at 12 noon at Ticketmaster.com. July 28th, Empower Field at Mile High. Don't miss AC/DC.
Hi, I'm Terrell Davis, two-time world champion and Pro Football Hall of Famer. There is nothing more important than your health. That's why I made the smart move to invest in fitness equipment with Fitness Gallery. It's a game changer. I have a true treadmill at home. It's the smoothest and quietest I've ever been on.
Football is here, and Fitness Gallery's fall football sale is your playbook for a winning home gym. Save up to 50% off on select premium equipment. Visit any of our 7 stores from Denver to Fort Collins and score big before the sale ends.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Or are they promising you up to 10% growth per year, all for your retirement income? If not, then you need to come to Trajan Wealth. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you have a plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't keep working when you're supposed to be retired, and don't let any financial advisor tell you it's too good to be true. Call Trajan today, 720-204-8100. That's 720-204-8100.
Annuities not advisory products. DBA Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions. Additional disclosures at trajanwealth.com.
These days, losing weight is such a roller coaster. You try the new medications, and when you stop taking them, you gain it all back.
Today is a new day.
Today is a new day.
Today is a new day.
Let Soda Weight Loss teach you the healthy, natural way to let go of the weight for good.
Do you know how good it feels to let go of 51 pounds of belly fat? And I did it without drugs, shots, or hunger. Because Soda Weight Loss works. Just look at all the Google reviews and all the thousands of before and after pictures.
For a limited time, 2 people can start with Soda Weight Loss for the price of one.
What does that mean? It's more fun?
Double the motivation, double the results, half the cost.
The best decision I've made in a long time was just to call Soda Weight Loss.
Take advantage of Soda Weight Loss 2-for-1 partner program. Visit sodaweightloss.com. That's SOTA weightloss.com. Soda is, say it with me, state of the art.
Marketing can feel overwhelming. Where to start? What works? What doesn't? That's where your marketing experts at Denver Sports come in. Audio, video, online marketing, and we know how to cut through the noise so your customers finally hear your story. You don't have to waste time guessing or spinning your wheels. We'll guide you with a proven plan that turns your marketing into growth. Let us handle the hard part. You do the easy part. Head over to DenverSports.com and click Advertise with Us and start growing your business today.
It's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Pull up in my
Last couple of segments on a Tuesday. Trade deadline Tuesday, Phil. Richie Carney sitting in for Zach By.
There's no such thing as a trade deadline to the Denver Broncos. They were never in.
Well, I don't know. It sounds like that. Well, yeah. Sean says they were never close.
Yeah.
Right. It was like it's like what he said to Cecil on the first day of his off-season conditioning when Cecil said that Lucas Kroll's is the best player on the team. He goes, "You're not close."
Don't bring that up.
So Sean Payton also said the Broncos weren't close when it came to making any legitimate trade deadline deals.
No, I think we discussed a few things, but all good.
Of course, it's all good.
Now, Luka Evans didn't ask that question.
Evan? Yeah, Evan.
Evan, are we crystal clear?
Are we crystal clear? And then it's just, and listen, Luka Evans, I think, does a really good job as one of the new writers for the Denver Post. I think he puts out interesting, stats and tidbits and information. I think he's a very good writer. And being one of the main Broncos writers for the Denver Post is a big thing. That's been a coveted position in this town for years and years and years. But his name is Luka. And so for Sean to, I think, intentionally.
So you think Sean did it on purpose?
Yes. Sean has a photographic memory about conversations he had with random assistants back when he was with the Cowboys or before that or working in college about just the love of the game and all that stuff. You don't think he knows the media members' names?
Evan, if you're paying
attention, and then it's just that I love the subtle my name's Luka.
Yeah. And for the people that don't know, because, we have some new listeners. We always got some new listeners. Something happened yesterday where a guy answers a question. Luka Evans answers the question, and Sean was snippy with him and called him by his wrong name.
Yes, because Sean talked about special teams errors and execution, and he basically said in as many words, hey, we're either going to find people to put out there and do their job, or we'll replace them and I'll get somebody else.
Yeah.
And Luka was clarifying because the way he initially said it, it was kind of ambiguous. Is he talking about a player or is he talking about a coach? Because Darren Rizzi's his boy. So it's like, whoa, was that a shot across the bow at the coaching staff? And then that's Evan, if you were paying attention, I was talking about personnel on the field because they only had 10 guys. And I told that player who shall remain nameless, Either figure it out or I'll find somebody that will, but the coaching's been outstanding. That was the clarification that he made. And Sean loves to cut you off midway through a question, even if he doesn't know the full context of what he's being asked. But he's the leader of this football program, this football team. He is the face still of the Denver Broncos organization. Has Bo Nix passed Sean Payton as the face of the team?
No, it's still Sean's show.
I agree.
This is Sean's show, and we're just it's Sean's world. We're living it.
And on today's episode of the Sean Show, the main plot point was we are not desperate enough to make an addition before the trade deadline to overpay, including up to a first-round pick and then some for a guy like Jalen Waddle, who it was reported by James Palmer and many others the Broncos were kicking the tires on. And James confirmed with us earlier today that was around the asking price, and George Payton and Sean Payton just weren't willing to pay it.
No, and it's okay. It is what it is now. We're 7-2 with the crew that we have. Everybody's just gonna have to pick their game up, specifically offensively. Once they get that going, special teams as well. We're gonna be a hard team to beat once we get to the playoffs. But it's all about executing and making those plays when it matters the most, which they usually do. When it matters the most, they make the plays. But make it easy on yourselves. Got 3 quarters. Make it easy on yourselves, Denver.
All right, to pay off the tease, Phil, the Denver Nuggets have already made a habit of something that they rarely managed to accomplish last season. They have yet to lose at home in the 2025 season. And even further than that, Phil, they have yet to trail at home. All 3 of their home wins have been wire-to-wire victories. That's something that they only accomplished 5 times in all of last season. And they're just the 4th team since 1999 to have shot 50% or better in 5 of the first 6 games of the season. Nikola Jokic had a season-high 34 points. Christian Brown pouring in 21 on 7 of 10 shooting.
Finally, CB got going a little bit. It was good to see that.
He has. His role, I think, has been fascinating to watch as it unfolds through the first 6 games or so of the season, because in the Michael Malone style of offense for the Nuggets, there was so much emphasis on running the break and transition scoring.
Yeah.
Christian Brown catching full court lobs from Jokic and living and flying around the rim was a huge part of his identity and role within the offense. But now with David Adelman, seems like they're much more focused on slowing the pace down, operating in the half court, reigniting the 2-man game with Murray, maybe even extended 2 or 3-man game with Aaron Gordon or Christian Brown,
but you
and
know what,
really
Richie?
Utilizing Jokic's passing ability more so than just chucking it down the field.
Yeah, no doubt.
Breaks.
And we're going to have to do that because during the
court.
playoffs, you're going to have to slow the game down. But the good thing about this team is you can do a switch up, like a curveball, a change up. Whereas if you do want to kind of do that run and gun, get Christian Brown running down
and
the
they did it
the
a little
court,
bit.
and
They did it a little bit against the
they
Kings.
can do
I mean, I think Jokic is always kind of wired to say, hey, what's the most efficient way to get the ball in the hoop
push the
on
ball.
this possession? And if that means, hey, I'm going to catch it out of the corner of my eye, I see a mismatch and Christian Brown has kind of snuck behind the defense, I'm going to take it. But if not, then we'll just run it up and we'll run one of Adelman's sets and plays that he has designed, because that's been something that he has identified as a strong suit of his, and it's going to be, I think, a core foundation of the Nuggets offense. And frankly, Phil, it's working. They're averaging north of 110 points per game. They are on a historic pace offensively to start the season, and they're doing it without their highest, from a hype and intrigue standpoint, their highest valued acquisition of the offseason, which is Cam Johnson, swapping him out for Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, I mean, for Cam, too, it's like, man, you got to get going. You were 0 for 5 from the three-point line last night, and you're having good shots. You're having good looks. Jokic is getting – I see at times where Jokic seems a little frustrated because it's like, you can't have a better look than what I'm giving you. Now it's time for you to execute. Now it's time for you to make the open shots. Now, I do believe, and all of us believe, that he's going to get it going because he's a shooter, and shooters shoot. They get hot. But for Cam Johnson, the reason why we brought you in and got rid of MPJ is because you're better than MPJ. And yet, and it's early, and I know it.
It's very early.
But you're looking more like MPJ, where it's like we're having conversations of, your shot's not on, but you're also doing other things. You're moving around the court. You're playing some defense. Like, that was MPJ. We brought you in to make points, score points. We brought you in to give Jokic another threat, another weapon, and that's what I want to see out of Cam Johnson. I want to see him being more aggressive.
And it's right there, too, Phil. You see Cam Johnson open for the wide open catch and shoot threes. He's still making some contributions in the mid-range, which I think is concerning. His shot's not just absent anywhere on the court. It really just seems to be the three ball, and especially that quick release catch and shoot. And maybe that's just evident that he's just not used to operating and being on the receiving end of a Jokic-led offense where if you're open, if you've got a breath of daylight in front of you, he's going to find you, and you always have to be on. And I think that's just an adjustment that maybe takes more than 6 games to figure out. But I believe that it will. I really do.
Shots. Hey, pinch yourself. You're not dreaming, Cam Johnson. You're with Jokic. Jokic is going to make sure he feeds you the ball. He's going to make sure that he gets you going. But you have to get yourself going by making them damn shots.
And he did play with Chris Paul, did Cam Johnson in Phoenix. I get that. And Chris Paul is one of the best point guards to ever play basketball. But I do think there is something to be said about Cam Johnson being a drop in the bucket in this starting lineup full of guys that have already played together for multiple years. They all have the chemistry and the timing that you don't. You are kind of the foreign object that has to gel and work itself in. I think that it will. Yeah. And I think that when it does click for Cam Johnson, man, we are going to see a ceiling for this Nuggets offense that's higher than we've imagined it could be, even with Jokic as great as he is.
Hey, it's early. It's early. All right, let's see what it looks like 20 games from now. I'm good. I'm a patient man. I just want to see more from Cam Johnson. That's it. And I know it's early.
All right, Phil and I got into an argument a little bit earlier today about some news, or maybe not news, changes, maybe not changes. We're apparently not allowed to know coming out of Boulder. And we'll see if Phillip Lindsay has some reinforcements or if he's about to get tag teamed again coming up next.
The Fan Flyaway is back, presented by 303 Law 4040. Save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. To kick off 2026, Denver Sports 1043 The Fan is sending you to Phoenix for the biggest party in golf. Airfare, hotel tickets, and $500 in spending money all included. Head to thefanflyaway.com to register. That's thefanflyaway.com. Denver Sports 1043 The Fan.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach here for 5280 Exteriors. Receive $1,000 off every 10 windows you purchase and receive a $100 grocery gift card to contribute to your Thanksgiving festivities. 5280 Exteriors, the altitude of quality.
At Berg Simpson, we are passionate about what we do. We bring that passion and our expertise to the office and courtroom every single day. We're always working hard and are committed to doing everything we can to give our clients the best opportunity to have a great result.
If you've been injured, call Berg Simpson for free now at 303-790-2525. 303-790-2525. BergSimpson.com. Good lawyers changing lives. It's not just a slogan, it's who we are.
Broncos country, football season is in full swing. Whether you're bundling up at Empower Field or heading to Boulder to cheer on Coach Prime and the Buffs, make sure you get there on time and in style. Let my friends at Hermes Worldwide tackle the traffic and parking hassles for you, and all you need to do is sit back, relax, stay warm, and enjoy the ride while they get you to and from the game safely, so you can focus on the important stuff, like watching your favorite team stack those wins or making as many memories as possible with your loved one and friends. All you need to do is call Hermes Worldwide today at 303-577-7600 or visit ridehermes.com/DenverSports to book your next ride today.
Discover incredible savings at the Mountain High Appliance Clearance Center in Denver.
I'm Brad Barnett, president of Mountain High Appliance. Our clearance center offers a huge selection of ranges, refrigerators, laundry, and more. Save up to 60% on open box, scratch and dent, display models, and overstocked appliances from Bosch, Thermador, KitchenAid, and many more. When you're looking for great deals on appliances, our clearance center is your go-to destination for the best prices and selection.
Mountain High Appliance, your favorite appliance store.
Thank you.
Brenda Stokel here from my friends at Roller Auction. Do you have items you're looking to sell? Since 1976, Roller Auction has been conducting commercial and industrial auctions for Colorado government agencies, Fortune 500 companies, small business owners, secured creditors, individuals, and more. They have a large marketplace to showcase your assets, so don't wait. Visit rollerauction.com for a free consultation and turn those items into some cold, hard cash. Again, go visit them at rollerauction.com. That's rollerauction.com.
Do you want the lowest rate for life? Get our 4.75 5-year fixed. APR is 5.89.
Did you say 4.75% fixed for 5 years?
Yes.
Yeah, I want that, but what if rates fall?
Our lowest rate for life program takes over. If rates fall even as little as 0.5%, we can redo your loan with no lender fees and no appraisal fee and no limits to the number of times used. Only at U.S. Mortgages. Call 303-LOW-RATE or online at usmloan.com.
All loans subject to approval and change. See website for complete details. License number 392126.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here from my friends at Xfinity. Imagine all that could happen in 5 years. Jobs may change, kids are going to grow, new memes will come out, but also, what if you had reliable, intelligent Wi-Fi and the price didn't change for 5 years? Well, thanks to Xfinity 5-year price guarantee, you actually don't have to worry about that part of your future. You're guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to your devices that need them the most, that finds and fixes any issues before you even notice them. It's like a super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from threats online. Plus, you get incredible gaming speeds on multiple devices with no one battling for bandwidth. For the next 5 years, all your devices are going to be working in perfect harmony, and you get our best equipment with no annual contracts, no fees, no strings attached. So even though your kids will grow up and you still won't understand what 6-7 means, your internet will stay sharp, reliable, and most importantly, the price will stay put. All with the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Select plans only.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown. I think I'm some kind of football prophet.
Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Stay up to date on the Broncos with our 9 News Broncos insider Mike Kliss. Presented by Fitness Gallery. Hear the latest from every practice and every game every single week during football season. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
Hey, in honor of Veterans Day, Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan and Foundation Cadillac are giving a veteran 1 year of free oil change services as a small thank you for their service. To nominate someone you know, head to denversports.com/veteran. That's denversports.com/veteran. And to all of our nation's veterans, we at Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan say thank you for your service. Phil, going into the break, I teased that you and I got into a little bit of an argument earlier about Coach Prime and the Buffs after some things that came out from his press conference today.
Yep.
And I basically told you, I think I might be out on the Coach Prime experience.
No.
I don't think that you want me to say I will?
Don't say think.
Fine.
Yeah, like no, you were.
I'm out.
All right, there you go.
I'm out.
There
I'm
you
out.
go.
I have lost faith and confidence that the pride and tradition of the
believe
Colorado
that.
Buffaloes has been entrusted to the right person who can make them a legitimate Big 12 and college football playoff contender. Will Peterson, am I off base, crazy for saying that?
I mean, I said last week the guy should be dismissed. Welcome to the party, my friend. Feels like a lot of people are joining.
Okay,
Will wants everybody dismissed. Right? Like, you messed up one time.
It's a dog-eat-dog world.
Probably tweeted earlier, hey, get Phil out of here.
I would never, Phil. I would never.
Oh, I'm pretty sure Will at some point was like, hey, let's cut Phil.
All right, so it sounds like I got a little bit of backup then in our
that's
argument
cute.
that we had. But shifting gears, maybe to something with an argument that you might win, we got an Avalanche game tonight, and we got an announcement about who is going to be starting between the pipes that I think caught some people off guard. It will not be Mackenzie Blackwood, who has just recently returned and was kind of making his way back from the lower body injury, played one game. It will be Scott Wedgwood. And to discuss this further with us, we bring in our Denver sports analyst, friend of the show, the scrappy one, the scrapster, Scrap Peterson. Will.
I mean, people already knew I was here, but I appreciate the intro, you know?
Yeah.
Scrappy!
I know, but I didn't say it at first, and I feel like it's an obligation to pay off that intro.
Yes.
No,
No,
about respect.
I enjoy it, Richie, and it's interesting because they played on Saturday, right? And Blackwood made his debut. They don't play again until next Saturday, fellas. So you got one game in 6 days, and your starting goaltender's not playing tonight against the Lightning, team you beat to win the Cup in 2022, and hot right now, won 5 in a row. Man, Phil, I think Mackenzie Blackwood not playing tonight is a little bit curious, to say the least, especially with all this time off they have the rest of the week.
Well, I'm a little nervous because it's like, hey, we've been waiting for Blackwood to come back. We know he was dealing with that injury, and he plays one game. He didn't look bad. Of course he's going to be rusty. And all of a sudden he had 6 days off? Was it 6?
Yeah, he'll get a full week.
Well, yeah, now. And it's like, what's really going on? Did he have a setback? Did he tweak something? Because usually if you have a starting goalie that starts in his first game, it's like, okay, we're doing a build-up now. You're here. You're ready to play. You're 100%. That doesn't seem like it's the case, though, Will.
No, it doesn't. And Jared Bednar did say today, well, we're practicing Monday, we're practicing Wednesday, we'll practice Friday. Good to get Mackenzie back in the rhythm, but I look at it the other side of the coin. Best way to get back in the rhythm is to play games, right? Not just 45-minute skates over at Family Sports.
There's only so much you can simulate at Family Sports and practice.
Exactly. So I'm not saying that Mackenzie Blackwood had a setback or is hurt or anything like that, but just based on the schedule, it's curious. You rarely play one NHL game in an entire week, and that's what the Avs have this week. And Scott Wedgwood's been good. He's actually been really good.
Yeah,
Don't
really,
get me
really
wrong, but just to not have Blackwood back out there tonight, the plan always, fellas, was Wedgwood's going to play like 30 games this year. Blackwood's going to play 50.
Mm-hmm.
Are we starting to shift that maybe? Is it more like 40-40? Is it more 50-30 towards Wedgwood? I don't know, but the guy's been a career backup. Do you trust him with that big a workload? You paid Mackenzie Blackwood to be your starter.
What was that, a little over $26 million for Mackenzie Blackwood, I want to say?
Not per year.
No, but in terms of the
like
contract.
5 years, $26 million.
Yeah. He got a nice, healthy deal for a goaltender, and they paid him after 4 games. So they clearly were just so glad to get rid of the old goalies that they did it. But it's not a knock on Wedgwood that he's playing tonight. It's more of an antenna up on Blackwood. Is something more going on than the Avs are revealing.
Well, Tampa Bay's putting the puck in the net as good as any team in the last 5 games in the National Hockey League. It will certainly be a test for Scott Wedgwood and something we will continue to monitor as Mackenzie Blackwood's health situation seems to be a little bit more in question today than we thought it would be going into this week of games. Phil, it's been fun. Appreciate you letting me take my hand on the wheel there for a little bit. Will, who you got for DST tonight?
I'll be with Marcello Romano, looking forward to breaking down why the Broncos did absolutely nothing at the trade deadline, and I am not okay with it.
Love it. Can't wait for Phillip Lindsay, Dante, Drew behind the glass. I am Richie Carney, and we've got Will Peterson and Denver Sports Tonight coming your way next.
Is Sean Payton asking too much from his sophomore quarterback?
I think there's so much pressure on the quarterback from the coach to be perfect and to be perfect right now. And then he's inaccurate. He's throwing interceptions. There's that unnecessary pressure from a coach who's not putting his quarterback in a position to succeed by running the freaking football.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. A blown left headlight is making Erica's drive to her son's soccer game darker and darker. So she goes to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
Where a friendly AutoZoner finds her 2 new bulbs.
These lights have the most clarity.
And helps her get back on the road so she can brighten her drive and the cheering section.
All right, all right.
See clearer and drive safer with new lights. No hassles, just help. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Football is here, and Fitness Gallery's fall football sale is your playbook for a winning home gym. Save up to 50%